This episode,
we review director Danny Boyle's 28 Years Later and director Len Wiseman's action film, Ballerina.
we look at the puzzling box office results for Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning and break down some of Superman director James Gunn's recent candid interviews.
While also discussing the recent hiring of Blade Runner 2049 director Denis Villeneuve to direct the upcoming James Bond movie for Amazon.
My name is Simon Eady.
And I'm Adrian Pinter.
Welcome to Split Focus, a film and TV podcast, episode 113.
Let's do it. You know where that's from, Simon? You know where that's from?
Let's do it. Is it Rick and Morty? No.
Almost, but it's a video game you recommended me a while back.
Oh, yeah. High on
yeah.
Life. That's why I guess I connected that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Let's do it. That's what I was referencing at the start.
There's
right
a
away.
sequel coming, to that game.
I know. Yeah, it's
kind of a
interesting.
surprise.
Yeah, that was kind of cool to see. Just because I assumed it was like, oh, this is dead because Justin Roiland was canceled and kicked out of that studio, and he was
Squanch Games. I feel like he was a founder of the. I'm pretty sure he was a founder of the studio.
Yeah, and he voiced like one of the guns, but apparently they address it in the DLC because they released DLC and he's not in it.
For context for the audience, the guns talk.
Oh yeah, sorry.
He voices one of the guns because they all talk. Yeah. One of the guns is Tim Robinson. That's my favorite one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really good.
It's because it's so ridiculous. It's just a ridiculous gun in general. Shoots babies out. Tiny, weird alien babies.
Yeah. And they die very quickly.
Very quickly. They only live for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Dead babies. One way to start the show, you know?
No, that's their life, you know? That's their life. It's like that in Invincible, that like race of people that die very quickly.
Yes.
Yeah, they think that those creatures, they live for that long. That's just how long they live, you know? It's just perspective, Adrian. Perspective,
dude.
Yeah.
I love perspective. Big fan of it.
Yeah.
Death Stranding 2's out, Simon.
It is indeed.
I know you're playing it. I'm playing it.
Yeah.
How are you liking it?
Speaking of video games, I guess.
Yeah.
I really like it. I'm only about 9 hours in. It's been a crazy week for me, like very, very busy. Like I'm not getting as much sleep as I'd like, and I'm constantly working. But yeah, I've played about 9 hours. I feel like you played a lot more because every time I go online, you seem to be playing Death Stranding 2 on the beach. So I assume that's the case.
I'm like 13 hours in, like on this third chapter. I'm only on chapter 3. So I got to like a certain point in the story, and I kind of wanted to go back. I just want to deliver packages. I was like, I'm kind of just vibing. I was like, I want to keep playing the story because I'm very intrigued. At the same time, I'm like, there's a benefit to delivering all these packages because then you unlock like better equipment to, to move forward.
Yeah.
So I've been, kind of going back delivering these packages. I'm very excited to continue playing this game, and I'm just so curious to bring it into movies because there is a Death Stranding movie being made. We talked about this a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
And I'm just so curious how they're going to translate it. Because, like, there's such flair and style in this game and in the first one. And, like, just such wacky characters. Die Hard Man, Dead Man, Heartman. This one, you got Doll Man, Tar Man. Everyone is just, like, they have man at the end of their name.
All men.
And except for the women, in which case it's just Mama and Fragile. So it's, like, it's cool.
Which are also on the nose.
Yeah, exactly.
All the names are on the nose as to what they are.
Yeah.
It kind of gives away what at least some kind of factor of their being and what they're about.
I'm just curious, like how you translate that to film. I feel like whoever, it's the guy that did. We know the director, right? Yeah,
yeah.
Like
it's Michael Sarnowski.
I'm like, how is he? This is a huge feat. I'm just so curious. Like how they're going to do something like that.
It should almost be a TV show in a way, or like a tiny miniseries, like maybe 3 episodes. That would have been a strategy. Maybe 6 episodes, like the classic, British TV show or something.
Yeah.
I just don't know how you're going to translate it in such a short span of time. I feel like if you watch like the movie version of it on YouTube, like some people play the video game and then like translate it to a movie. It's like 7 hours of cutscenes. It's strange too. Like I explain this game to people often. Like I talk about like the concept of it. And it's like, it's difficult to just explain the concept for people to really understand what it is, which I find interesting. Yeah. So it's like, how are you going to sell it too? Like in a marketing way. But I guess tough. You can, in that they're selling the game pretty well. It seems like the second game is doing fairly well. We'll see how it does,
especially like critically, which is cool.
Which is great. They just it seems like Hideo Kojima, the director of the game, he seems to have just like expanded upon, at least on the gameplay mechanics, just make it just everything's refined and better in that. It's tight. And it seems like I'm only 9 hours in, so maybe
it's also the most beautiful game I've ever played ever. It's crazy, dude.
Wow.
It's crazy, dude. When the game starts and you're on top of a mountain and you're just looking at the rock detail, the little rocks kind of falling down. It's bananas. Like it actually boggles my mind. It looks so good.
It starts with like a landscape montage with aerial shots, which is like Hideo Kojima is very cinematic in his storytelling. He loves cinema. He's a cinemaphile as well. But the way they start it, I thought that I'm wondering if those shots were real life. I'm not sure. I think it was in engine. I don't understand how they looked so realistic. The landscapes all look like real life. It was very strange. And then you're ported over to the main character, Sam Porter Bridges, and he's just sitting on the mountain, and you're like, whoa. And then minus 61. It starts. Oh yeah, dude. And it's such a like a, I don't know. It's an iconic song to start a game with. I feel like people will remember that. It's very memorable.
Yeah,
it's Woodkid. If anyone out there knows the artist Woodkid, he's pretty great. I kind of have liked Woodkid for a while. Actually, first time I was ever exposed to Woodkid. I don't know if you know this or if you had the same exposure.
13 Reasons Why?
No.
Is that?
So the first time I was exposed to it was the trailer for Dying Light. It's one of the greatest trailers I've ever seen for any game, at least at that time. Dying Light's came out in 2014. So it's such a great trailer. It's Run Boy Run. And is the song that plays. And it's such a great trailer overall. And the song is great. And that was an instant download when the trailer hit.
Yeah. But I heard that song from 13 Reasons Why, the first season. It's part of the soundtrack.
Run Boy Run's in that too, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
That was the first time I heard it.
Yeah, a little later. When was 13 Reasons Why? Was it 2017?
Came out 2017, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I love music in games. I
love music.
I just love music as well. But
no, me too. And in movies, we talk about this, I feel like a lot on this podcast about film and TV shows and how they use music. And I think this game uses it in these vast like landscape sequences where you're walking like in these beautiful environments. Mm-hmm. But yeah, sorry, I cut you off. Continue.
No, it just hits, dude. Like as of late, I feel like I've been finding more and more music from like video game media and like TV shows and stuff. Because like I'll do the Discovery Weekly on Spotify on occasion, right? Like I'll do that. Right. But sometimes I just want to listen to like comfort stuff. But so like when you're playing a game or something and a song comes up, and you're like, damn, this is really good. Like I just played through. I was telling you about it off air, but I played through a game called Sayonara Wild Hearts, which is like an arcade game. But it has the most banging fucking soundtrack, dude. Like I have like 6 of the songs saved because it's just so good. I jam out to it all the time. And like, it's just, I don't know, man. I love finding music in media that I'm already enjoying. And it's just like, then it reminds you of playing a game or watching a movie, and it just fucking hits, man. Audio, I think, is like such a underappreciated art form within the video game industry and within the even movie industry. I feel like there's never
especially
as much
at home
of a
now because of streaming services. That's I completely agree. It's like that's a kind of an issue. It's like the way it's mastered, but also the sound systems at home I think if you took a percentage, I'm sure they have the metadata at the video game companies and that like streaming services for how many people are actually have a sound system that's any good. It's not just their TV speakers. I bet the percentage is really badly low in terms of, again, there's a lot of probably customers out there with just like maybe it's 5%. I don't know. I feel like it's like a really low number of people who don't have just TV speakers.
Definitely.
Or watching on their phone with the speakers on their phone. And like that sucks. I always said when we worked in retail together and like I worked in like home theater, I always said there's like 50% of the battle. The customers would look at me like I was crazy when I was trying to sell them sound. I literally believe it. Like it is a large part of it. Sound effects, sound design, music. Yeah. The other thing that's cool about Death Stranding in terms of music is that the music is also soundtrack based. Like it's lyrical and it's artists, which is as opposed to just having a composer, which is also amazing, like Sayonara Wild Hearts, or a game like Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which has incredible music as well. But most games don't dabble too much with lyrical, like having an artist come in and either perform for the game specifically, or they're just using a song. Like I feel like a great example of this is Red Dead Redemption 2 uses music, but it's more rare, certainly in video games. Not obviously in movies. Movies have often used kind of the soundscript. Actually, TV shows, you just mentioned it, but 13 Reasons Why has a really great soundtrack of music that's not just a score, like musical score from a composer.
The Twilight movies, dude. Amazing
that's soundtrack. The best thing about them.
By far.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I love it, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
But
okay. All right. Yeah. Man. Speaking just before we although this is not that related to film and TV until probably many years from now. I want to give some context. A few weeks ago, you recommended to me because I made this rule where I can only recommend any one person one thing at a time until they watch that or play that thing, and then if they don't play it or watch it for 10 years, then I never recommend anything else. That's kind of my rule. And then you kind of followed suit and you recommended to me Clair Obscur Expedition 33, the video game that's over a 90 on Metacritic, critically acclaimed. Customers have bought it up the wazoo, which is great. And it's anticipated to do very well at the Video Game Awards in December. So we'll see how it goes. But I was playing it and I was playing through Act 2. And I was liking it. I like it overall. It's great. But this weird thing is that like about, I feel like maybe 75% to 85% through Act 2, I was like, I'm kind of getting annoyed with the plot, actually. I found that the characters there's a lack of question asking from the main cast of characters for like this one person. There's this one guy who's clearly knows stuff and they just don't ask him anything. And I'm just like, this is stupid. I'm so sorry, but this is dumb. And I'm like, I kept going through all like the optional dialogue options to try to get them to ask him so I could find out what the story is, because it doesn't make any sense. They're like working with this person and they don't ask them any questions. And I thought that was ridiculous. I thought it was a little bit silly, and it was more and more silly. And I was like, I kind of just want to get there. And I was like at the very end of Act 2, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this game's overrated. And then Act 2 ends, and I'm like, nah, it's not.
Yeah. Wonderful.
I was wonderful. Act 2 is Act 2 crazy. End of Act 1 crazy too, but
yeah,
man, I was like, whoa, this is a very creative story. The plot line in this very interesting. I don't know how it's going to go for Act 3. I'm now in Act 3, but I must say I was like kind of blown away by it. Now that is still a criticism. What I just said is that they don't ask this guy questions. It's fine. It's just I thought for some reason I also thought that the game might end. And I'm like, what kind of game ends on Act 2? I was like, I don't know what's happening. There's some weird stuff going on. I was like, what's going on? Anyway, I don't want to give anything away. But it's excellent, and I can see why they're making a movie out of this versus Death Stranding, which Death Stranding's really cool, but the concepts are, I don't know, a little wackier and difficult to translate to film or TV, especially in an hour and a half to 2.5 hour movie. But yeah, Clair Obscur, I can see how they could really succeed potentially, because it's really cool, and I think that the twists and turns the plot takes, I'm really pleased with it. It's really cool. I'm playing 3 games at once: Death Stranding, Clair Obscur, and Star Wars Outlaws, and so
nice.
They're all pretty great. But yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, man. I'm very glad you're enjoying it. I was really hoping that you would, because you're not much of a turn-based guy in general. But this kind of solves that with the more like interactive battle system, like within that turn-based, thing, which is cool. So I was like, okay, that's a plus. And I adore the story. It's like one of my favorite stories in gaming in quite some time. So yeah, I'm very happy that you liked it. I'm glad that my recommendation hit for you.
It seems like, I mean, it maybe it will turn by the end. We'll see.
Maybe. Hopefully not.
To be fair, by the end, but near the end of Act 2 where I was getting frustrated, I still really liked it. I was just kind of like, is this going to go somewhere? Because I'm like, there was a lot of things that there's like a lot of obfuscation. There's like obfuscation of the plot. And I'm like, this is a bit too much. Like, is it? Yeah. And it's great though. It's really great. And I'm playing Death Stranding. This game, they're potentially both Game of the Year contenders. I think they're very likely Death Stranding will get nominated as well.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm 13 hours in, and I'm like, this game's fucking awesome. It's crazy. Like I feel like I fall victim to recency bias quite often. Like I think just like naturally, I think most people do, or many people do, right? And I'm playing through Death Stranding. I'm like, do I like this more than Claire Obscura? And I was like, I don't know. I gotta see where the story goes, because I haven't had much of the story kind of go. But there's something just so wholly unique about Death Stranding, from a gameplay perspective, and nothing has captured that until, again, now the sequel coming out, and they still expand on it. And I'm like, oh my god, like how do you do something so masterful? He
created a genre. He created literally a genre. It's like an apocalyptic delivery game where the terrain is the puzzle. And there's stealth and fighting combat mechanics, but you're fighting these strange factions that don't make a lot of sense. It's our world, post-apocalyptic, and everyone's separated and they're unconnected. And like Sam Porter Bridges, played by Norman Reedus, like big name actors are also just motion captured, which you don't see that often, much in games as much anymore, or as much anyway. It's just not that common. I feel like you get the occasional voice, but not always. Like I feel like what's another game that I'm even thinking about? I mean, I guess Horizon does it with
Lance Reddick.
But it's not as common.
Alone in the Dark.
Like it could have.
With Jodie Comer and David Harbour.
Didn't do so well. But
it's not great. I was playing it and I got, I don't know, maybe 2/3 of the way through with one of the characters. And I'm like, I'm not enjoying it. It doesn't click. Right. There's something that doesn't work because it balances like this, like old timey, like 50s, almost detective aesthetic with horror, and I just don't think it does either of it well. And there's like there's disparities in the story. Like there's one, but maybe it all gets revealed at the end. But it's like I'm not going to get to the end now, because there's this point where I was playing as Jodie Comer, and really good performance. Like she does great. We're going to talk about her some more actually, because she's in a movie that we both watched. But like she like meets this kid in this weird mansion, a bunch of weird stuff's going on. So this weird, stuff happens. And then it goes into like the horror mode by herself, gets out of it. Cause it's just like these big cuts. Like she'll walk into the room and then all of a sudden it's like a 50s, like, hey, how's it going? And then she'll walk into the horror thing. But then, so she meets this little girl and is like, oh, this girl's fucking weird, whatever. And then like 15 minutes later, she walks up to this other guy and is like, hey, have you seen this little girl? And she's like, no. I'm like, I was like, there was a scene 15 minutes ago where she was just talking to that little girl, like the exact girl.
Polish is the issue. Yeah.
And again, it's like, maybe this gets revealed. Maybe Jodie Comer's a crazy person and she's part of this crazy house. And that's going to be the reveal. But it's like, I don't care. I'm not going to get that far. Because
interesting.
I don't know.
There's something about there's a lack of that a lot in the video game industry in general. Like where there's like this like lack of playtesting that would have caught stuff like that. And I feel like PlayStation Studios games typically don't suffer from that at all. Like they over playtest things, which is really great because it's polished to like a fine sheen. A game that I really love that's like AA, they call it AA because it's just not as much funding for the title, but Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden. I think you would actually really like that game. And I think it's excellent. And I think it could have been a Game of the Year contender. I'm not even kidding you. Kidding you if they spent like 6 months more to polish out the systems, because it's excellent. And the story is really sad and poignant. It's like, it's very great. It's great. I'm shocked though, but it's just not, well, it's good, not great, I guess. Cause they're so close, but they just didn't polish it because I guess it's a lack of play testing, and like the combat mechanics are good, but not great. It's all good, but not great. The plot is probably the best part about it.
Yeah.
It's just even like the voice actors and the lip sync and all that stuff is like, it's okay. I wish it was so much better because it could have been literally one of the best games of 2024. Yeah, came out last year.
But, I think so. That seems right.
Yeah. Oh, Death Stranding, speaking of horror, also has horror elements as well, which is crazy. Like ghostly creatures you can't see. There's like dealings with like life and death, the realms of life and death. There's like, it's open world action adventure horror. What game is that? It's so strange. He created a genre, Hideo Kojima. It's impressive. It's pretty crazy.
The first Strand type game.
Strand, I was just talking to somebody.
Strand type game.
Yeah, Strand type or Strand like. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, well, let's move on. Let's move on now to a few quick bites of film and TV industry news, Adrian, because we are Split Focus, a film and TV podcast, not film and video game podcast. So the first thing I got here as a quick bite of news here is that Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, maybe the final Mission Impossible movie starring Tom Cruise, directed by Christopher McQuarrie, had a $400 million budget, which is very high, and likely around $150 million marketing budget, which would mean that they would have to kind of make $1 billion to break even. And the movie has currently earned $550 million, and we're many weeks, a month, I think. Yeah, about a month past the date of release. So that's sad, I would say, because $550 million for any movie would most likely be considered a success.
Yeah.
Movie tickets don't go up in price based on how much a movie costs to make. So that's kind of sad to see. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but I was...
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but we also have to take into consideration a lot of that budget is because this filmed during COVID as well, similar to Dead Reckoning. And I think, again, they kept on paying their staff and had all their staff on kind of standby when the lockdowns were occurring, right? So, like...
Yeah, but the money men, the people in power, they acknowledge
They don't care.
We're acknowledging it.
Yeah.
But do they care enough to make another Mission Impossible? Is that why it's the final reckoning, Adrian?
Maybe. It felt like the end, though, in a lot of ways. Just because, again, it was a love letter to everything that came before. There's all the flashbacks. There's all the connections to the different movies. It ends in a way where, like, you could keep going, but I think this is a nice place to end it, personally. I'd be okay if they never went back to Mission Impossible. I love this franchise. I really enjoyed it. But I just... Do we need it? Do we need to keep going? Let Tom Cruise and Christopher McQuarrie make another franchise where he's doing crazy stuff. Because aren't they going to space or something? Not actually going to space, but they're doing that space action movie.
Actually going to space.
Oh, wait, they're actually going to space?
Well, that was the thing, yeah. Wasn't that the thing? Is that they're actually going to space. That was the point. They're going to film it in space. That was the magic of it that they wanted to do.
Damn.
That's a legend. The crazy thing. He wants to do the crazy thing and go to space. But I feel like that's many years away because I feel like that would cost so much money too. But he's got like another 3 projects, I think, with McQuarrie. I don't know if he's going to be in every one of them, Tom Cruise. But I think there's a few more projects that they're working on that will be exciting too. But yeah, here's my prediction. Here's my prediction, all right? We may not remember this. You may not remember this prediction exists, but I'll just say this. I think they're done with Mission Impossible for the next 5 years at the very least. But it will come back and Tom Cruise will star in it. And people will be like, whoa, this guy's 70. How is he doing this? That's what it's going to be. That's my prediction. That's my hot take here. I think it's coming back for sure. I think they make it look like it's over. And then they're going to pull like the Dark Knight Rises situation, although that was always planned. But you know what I'm saying? Like Batman comes out of retirement. Like, oh, Ethan Hunt's coming out of retirement. And, oh, he's holding the side of a biplane again while it floats through the air. Whoa. But he's 70. Yeah, that's my theory. We'll see.
Maybe. That'd be cool.
But here's what I'll say about this too. And I think this is an important thing to note when we're talking about the Thunderbolts movie too, which had a big budget and they were worried that it was just about to break even and maybe it won't. Here's what I think about this. Thunderbolts, if you think, actually, Black Widow is a good example. Yeah. Black Widow did a simultaneous theater release. Theater release with Disney Plus, right?
I think so, actually. Now that you mention it, that reminds me.
Right. Black Widow had a big budget, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't go to the box office. They didn't go because they just watched it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Right. There was no wait. Was that the time when they had that premium access situation? Maybe this is a bad example.
Remember. I'll look it up. The
point I'm trying to make, though, is that there's a lot of doom and gloom in the industry when you look at these articles about box offices. When the real thing is, it's box office is important, but once afterwards the film is done and it goes back to streaming, they're still making money off streaming because that movie's there. So the people they didn't capture in box office money, they're gonna capture in streaming subscriptions theoretically, especially in a big movie like Thunderbolts, which people heard is good. Like it generally is really great sentiment around it, and it's well liked. The Final Reckoning, fairly well liked. It was an 80 on Metacritic, Rotten Tomatoes, so it wasn't quite as well liked as the previous entries in the series. Yeah. I don't know how Dead Reckoning is reviewed better. It's like a 95 or something. What? I don't know how that's possible. But anyway, because it's just not better. Final Reckoning is a better movie, in my opinion. But regardless of that, that is something to know. And I feel like, again, when you read any of these articles, they're very doom and gloom. But in reality, they're getting a second shot at it with streaming because they're still going to make money afterwards. Probably in a bigger way than, well, maybe not a bigger way, but as back then, I was thinking a bigger way than even like Blu-ray releases back then.
Yeah.
But definitely Blu-ray releases now. It's definitely more of an impact than that. But again, if they were willing to put, my point was, if they were willing to put it on streaming right away, and they still spent hundreds of millions of dollars to make these movies, then obviously streaming is making the money in a different way that we're not quantifying because they would have to show their metadata or their metrics to determine how many subscribers they gained per film or whatever it is. So, I mean, Netflix only puts stuff on streaming and they make huge movies as well. And they're one of the biggest media companies in the world. I think they're top 3 or something like that.
Crazy. Black Widow was on the Premier Access. It was like $30 apparently. This is from businessinsider.com, Simon. So. Okay.
So a bad example, but HBO Max did it. With Dune, which was ridiculous. Like that movie also cost a lot of money, and then they put that on streaming, and people were looking at the box office. It's like, well, the box office isn't telling all, and so even if you only have like a few months, if you have a few months between the release onto streaming, you're going to get more money from streaming post the film released in box office, and it's not that doom and gloom. Now, but for Mission Impossible, do I think they're going to make back the extra $500 million? I don't know about that, but Thunderbolts I think is profitable. Overall, I think Disney probably internally looks at it and says, could have done better, but honestly, did pretty well. They also hired Jake Schreier to direct X-Men, the director of Thunderbolts. They hired him as the director of X-Men, which is coming up. And that's that may be one of their biggest tentpole movies in the next little bit. Obviously, they've got Avengers, so it's not going to beat that. But anyway,
sorry, Simon. I apologize to interrupt. I got to go check something out. Cassandra's just messaging me with something with our pool pump. I apologize.
Your pool?
Yeah, I have like my pool pump.
You have a pool?
Yeah, it's a little
outdoor pool.
Yeah,
like in ground,
above.
Oh, above ground.
Yeah.
Huh. Did you buy it separately after buying the house, or you?
No, it came with the house.
Oh, okay, cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably more maintenance to do for you, but hence the pool pump problem that you're having right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. I'll see you in a bit.
Yes. Sorry. I apologize. Give me like 5 minutes at the most. I apologize.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back, Simon. I apologize about that. Far less work than I was worried about. The outlet it was plugged into, because we had a big thunderstorm last night. I turned off the pool pump because I didn't want there to be an electric shock. But the outlet that it was plugged into, like you just had to hit the reset button on it.
Right.
So it's good. Pool pump's good, man.
All right. That's good. False alarm. All right. Okay, well, let's move on to the next bit of Quick Bite news. There were some candid moments from James Gunn. I mean, what moments aren't candid for James Gunn, I guess, on the Superman press tour recently. Superman's coming out on July 11th, so that's pretty exciting. But he mentioned that a DCU project that is unannounced is his favorite project coming up. which is interesting. But he has also known about this project since his announcement for the overall DCU when he was hired on in 2023. But he doesn't want to reveal it to avoid it being ripped off by another studio before release. I don't know if you have any thought on that, but I thought that was an interesting situation. I have no idea what that could be. I don't. Yeah. Maybe I. Yeah.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I'm so curious. What could it be?
Is it a TV show?
Joker's 3, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be ripped off. Yeah. I don't think they can rip that off. But if it was something that could be ripped off by another studio, it must be something that's not super original from the perspective of like DCU prop, like IP. You know what I mean? Like it can't be an owned licensing situation. So it must be something that's more generic about the DCU for it to be. I don't know. I don't know enough about the DC universe, to be honest, like comics universe to make this make sense, I suppose. But
maybe it's just Jimmy Olsen going around the world doing reporting.
And people are gonna rip that off.
Yeah, maybe. And I'm like, wow, this is a cool idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. Like that's the thing. It's an interesting move too. It's like your big movie's coming and it's like, it's not even my favorite thing. I made it, but it's not my favorite thing. We got something even fucking cooler coming that nobody knows about. It's such a weird marketing play. It's almost absurd, you know?
It's not, I don't think it's intentional though. I'm not sure James Gunn thinks about it very much. Like he tweets so much and he mentions so many things on Instagram and various social media, and he talks to interviewers very often. So I feel like he just throws so much stuff out there, and then whatever the media like latches onto is kind of what hits the airwaves kind of thing. But anyway, the other thing that's really cool, this is really cool. I'm really impressed and I'm shocked that like Marvel hasn't done this already. But for upcoming DCU TV series, they will have previously on the DCU style recaps to give context about the greater DCU storyline. How has Marvel not been doing this? It's so confusing. The Disney Plus shows are so confusing if you haven't watched the whole thing. I've watched the whole thing, so for me it doesn't matter, but the context matters for them. If you want to, especially if you want to create more meaning for the overall story arcs, you kind of have to give recaps so that you don't make customers feel like, I keep calling them customers, that's a bad way, viewers, fans. You don't want them to jump into a story and think, oh, this doesn't make any impact on the Marvel Cinematic Universe or DCU. And then vice versa, you don't want them to jump in and say, I have no idea what the hell is going on. So this is like a happy middle place where you could explain what has happened previously. Anyway, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but
no, dude, I love this. I think this is a genius move. And it is one of those like, how the fuck didn't the MCU think of this? Like it is, it's one of those, it seems so obvious, but it was never brought up. So I'm curious, you think we're going to see this in Peacemaker season 2? Or is this kind of going to be?
I think so. I think that's what he was alluding to as well. I can't remember what article was, what interview this was, but I think he was alluding to doing that, which is good.
Okay, cool.
It's strange. Maybe the hesitancy for Marvel is that they're worried about spoilers, but then look at their trailers, you know? like they give away like plot points in the post movie trailers that just give away like huge pieces of their movies before people have maybe seen it. Like a day after release, they're just like spoiling Thunderbolts. Like what? Yeah, dude. What's the point of that? So like, if you're gonna do that anyway, why haven't you done these recaps?
Yeah,
but maybe you can opt out. And on streaming services, you have the option to opt out of the recap anyway. So if you don't want the context, you can just hit skip for the recap portion of like whatever the show is coming up, Loki, or like no, Loki's not coming up, but Ironheart is, or Ironheart just released to pretty good reviews.
Yeah, okay, reviews. I sent you an image on Rotten Tomatoes because the audience score and the review, the critic score was 69 for both. I'm like, nice.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's changed at this point.
I won't tell you what it is, but I'm just checking it to see if it's dropped by a massive amount. I will say it if it's way lower. Oh, wow, close to the same amount. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to spoil your fun, you know. Oh, you're looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not afraid of spoiling your nice situation.
Of Ironheart? No, I don't know. I probably won't watch it. But funny aside, Simon.
Yeah.
So obviously I can't use your Disney Plus anymore, right? I got kicked off.
Yeah.
And I was like, the Bears coming back, which I'll talk a little bit about, like season 4. And I was like, now's the time to get Disney Plus. But I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like free trials. And I was like, I'm going to wait. I'm going to see if there's any like fr bought tickets to John Mulaney. He's coming to Toronto in September. So I bought tickets.
Cool. Nice.
And through Ticketmaster, when you buy the tickets, it's like, oh, here's some special offers. And one of the special offers was like, get Disney Plus Basic for $3 a month for 3 months. I'm like, oh, look at that. Perfect timing.
Huh. Basic sounds horrible. Speaking of
not
sound, having good sound, you lose out on the sound. Wait.
And there's also 3 ads.
No, they don't remove. Disney's great for that. That's the one great thing about Disney is that they don't remove better sound quality and better quality of picture with their lower. This just
tiers.
ads, which is awesome. With their lower tiers, that's the greatest thing about it. Yeah,
it sucks. Yeah. There's like 3 minutes of ads per an episode of TV.
You're paying $3 and you get that many ads.
Yeah,
pretty bad. Yeah,
and so I got it, and so I log into my new Disney Plus account. I'm like tempted to send Disney the wrong message. So I started playing the first episode of Ironheart. So they have like this data where it's like, oh my God, someone actually got Disney Plus for Ironheart.
Oh yeah, nice.
But then I didn't actually watch it, and then I switched over to The Bear.
Well, that's probably going to send them a different message.
Yeah, exactly. I feel kind of bad about that. I'm sure it's reviewed okay. It's middling. 74 is good. Audience score.
Yeah, so
I don't really believe that.
So this is something that's pretty funny. You sent me the message. You sent me the screenshot of it being 69, audience score, and as you just said, and critic score, right?
Yeah.
But then you're saying, and then you said instantly, but we all know the audience score is going to drop because there's a bunch of crazies on the internet. Yeah. And this show has predominantly like a diverse cast in it. So there's no way it will stay at 69. Sure thing. Sure enough, it's 59 now. Yeah. So that was a good prediction on your part. 74%. It actually rose in critic score, but then in audience score, it dropped 10%, which is so predictable. So predictable.
Mm-hmm. But, and it's so like one thing I want to point out about what you said, like this is a genuinely diverse cast. It's not like where people are like, oh, like Black Panther is a diverse cast and it's all like, Black people, right?
And Martin Freeman.
Whereas like in Ironheart, it's like, it's a Black female lead. There's Alden Ehrenreich, a white guy. There's Anthony Ramos, who I assume is... Yeah, his last name's Martinez. So I'm going to assume is like a Hispanic dude. Yeah. Right? So it's a genuinely diverse cast in that way. Yeah. So it's cool. Kind of cool to see. I don't know. Apparently Sacha Baron Cohen is in this fucking show.
To be fair. Oh, cool. Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Now I want to watch it even more.
Me too. I'm
kind of curious now. Wait, what? He's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? But apparently, to be fair about the diverse casting, that doesn't really matter to me. And I don't think it should matter to anyone. Both directions. Does it have a lot of diversity? Oh, good, cool, that's great. It's nice to see everyone get jobs. And then on the other side, it's like only Black people or only white people? That should just. Why does it matter so much to people? And to the point where they're reviewing it negatively, even more so. That's crazy. That's the crazy part of it, is that they're reviewing it negatively because it's woke, because it has a diverse cast. What kind of world are we living in? It's nonsense. Anyway. Dude,
woke has lost all meaning. I don't know if you saw online, but when they announced that new James Bond video game, and it's like young James Bond, like white dude. Right. And then people were putting like, oh, it's like woke James Bond. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Which part was woke about it?
I don't know. That's the point. That is the point. It's lost all meaning. You have these fucking psychos online saying this word. I genuinely, if anyone uses woke unironically in any argument, I immediately think you're stupid and your point is invalid. I'm not even joking. Like, I think if you don't know how to express your feelings without fucking saying woke, a word that literally doesn't fucking mean anything ananymore.
Right.
It's stupid, dude. It pisses me off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Right. Moving on to more about the DCU. One last thing. I think it was one last thing. Yeah. So James Gunn also said that we should get off director Matt Reeves' nuts about the Batman sequel. Again, there's the candid responses. from James Gunn about the Batman sequel script, because it hadn't been actually until last night from the moment we were recording this podcast.
Yeah.
It hadn't been given to James Gunn yet. And now it's done. So now we don't really have to talk about the fact that people should get off James Gunn's nuts. But honestly, that Matt just Reeves goes nuts. Into what we just talked about, the internet being a bunch of crazies.
Yeah.
Really. It's like there's a bunch of people just harassing Matt Reeves online. Clearly, why would he think to even say that in an interview unless that was happening? Anyway, the quote that James Gunn said was, quote, "People should get off Matt's nuts, because it's like, let the guy write the screenplay in the amount of time he needs to write it. That's just the way it is. He doesn't owe you something because you like his movie. I mean, you like his movie because of Matt, so let Matt do the things the way he does."
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Right.
James Gunn seems just like he seems relatively down to earth. And I like how candid he is a lot of the time. He's also one of the few people that will literally debunk theories online where people are like, I heard that they're bringing in a random character into the James Gunn universe. And he'll just be like, where the fuck did you hear that? I was like, no, this is wrong.
Dude.
Yeah.
Cosmic Book News. I haven't seen Cosmic Book News as much anymore. Maybe it's because Google knows that I don't like it.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't show me the articles. But
maybe the guy offed himself because he's living a life of just pure negativity.
Maybe. That's kind of sad still, though.
It is,
I don't want him to off himself. But anyway, yeah, James Gunn doesn't like the runaway train of hype, which I appreciate. Because runaway trains of hype, as proven many times, even though you may have the best intentions in mind, are not good. A great example of this, and I will always say this, I don't think that No Man's Sky was marketed in the way that people think it was marketed. I've always said that. It's a big video game now. It was not that big at launch. No Man's Sky, there was things said about it, and people took the snippets of what the creator, Sean Murray, said, and then made them a runaway train of hype that people thought it was going to be the craziest space game. It's a game that takes place in outer space, a huge open world, open universe game. You can go to billions of planets. It's insane, but you couldn't actually go to billions of planets because you wouldn't have the time. But there are billions of planets you could go to, which is nuts. And this game is crazy now. They've improved upon it from what people... That's actually now the thing that people thought it was going to be. I think the thing that they didn't necessarily advertise it to be. But yeah, runaway hype, a bad thing. It's just bad. It's bad. So don't let it get away from you. I feel like it's a good strategy, but most creators are very quiet. They just be like, nah. You'll see it when you see it, and you can judge it then. But okay. All right. Speaking of James Bond, Adrian, although that was a few minutes ago now at this point, but and I think maybe that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to create a segue for us, but I failed it. Anyways, Denis Villeneuve, director of Dune, and Prisoners, and Arrival.
Blade Runner 2049, dude.
Yeah.
My favorite.
I had to forget that one. That's probably my favorite movie by him. But regardless, he has been hired on as director for the next James Bond film. Producers David Heyman and Amy Pascal are producing for Amazon's MGM Studios. Still no James Bond actor named yet. But what do you think about this news? I know you don't like James Bond, or really not necessarily like it, but you're indifferent about James Bond from my perspective. Or maybe you don't like it because you didn't really love Casino Royale. But what do you think about this? Because you like Denis Villeneuve quite a bit.
I do indeed, man. I do indeed. This is a way to get me into the James Bond universe, honestly. I watched Casino Royale, and again, I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it that much. I was just like, I don't really like James Bond as a character, really. He's kind of a prick, and I don't know. It wasn't doing it for me. Maybe it was a place and time thing, but I was not vibing with Casino Royale, and that is the only James Bond movie I've ever watched. So I have like no connection to this James Bond fella, but I do have a connection with Denis Villeneuve. I love his movies. He's just got, like, he's one of the most brilliant directors in the industry. Like, he's on the level of like a Christopher Nolan, in my opinion. Like, that just creates bangers after bangers, and I'm gonna be there to watch all of their movies day one, sort of thing. So yeah, again, this is a way for me to get into James Bond. I don't imagine Denis Villeneuve's gonna make a movie that I'm gonna be like, I don't like this. Even if I don't really love the character. So we'll see what happens. But but you like both Denis Villeneuve and James Bond. So how do you feel about this, dude?
I'm pretty excited about it. The problem is like there's like a lot of negativity around this because Amazon directors don't seem to like Amazon. We talked about this before, but it was kind of an interesting move to hire on like David Heyman, the producer of Harry Potter, and Amy Pascal, the producer of like the Spider-Man, like the very popular recent Spider-Man movies in particular.
Yeah.
I think that that was a kind of a good move. And then hiring Denis Villeneuve is like he's like a visionary director. And then you hire him for James Bond. It's pretty cool. Like I'm really curious to see what he can pull off with this. Christopher Nolan was apparently interested in James Bond with the Barbara Broccoli, and Michael G. Wilson when they were the producers of the series. They're stewards. Yeah. And apparently, I think Broccoli didn't want to hire Nolan for some reason. Maybe his idea for the script wasn't something that was up their alley. But that would have also been an interesting one if Nolan had been tapped to direct. It still makes me sad that Broccoli isn't in charge, just because I feel like the Broccoli family, because they've been stewards for so long, like they know the character so much better than anyone else on Earth. There's no one else, I don't think, that knows the character. And so that's kind of an interesting thing, is what does this look like? We've not really had a James Bond in modern times. Actually, I don't think we've ever had a James Bond at any point that hasn't been stewarded by that family. So what does that mean? But Denis Villeneuve, big fan apparently of James Bond. That's what he, since childhood, he said in a statement that he was a big fan since childhood. And so it's like a dream come true to direct the first of many films. I think he made it seem like he's only doing one for now, unless we'll see what happens, but it's pretty cool. That's it.
Because his next movie is Dune 3, right?
So this is the thing that is curious. I love that you pointed that out. I almost forgot because I didn't put that in my notes. Denis Villeneuve is directing and attached to like 3 projects right now. So when is this movie happening for James Bond? I imagine James Bond takes second project to Dune 3. Because he's in the middle of that, and that's filming next year, I believe. So, or is it filming this year? I gotta remember now. Dune 3 production date. But other than that, he's got another 2 projects that are just like in the wings that we've talked about it actually. Oh no, actually Dune 3 is being filmed. My mistake. It's being the production starts at the later half of 2025, according to this deadline.
Interesting, article. Yeah.
So that's definitely first, and then James Bond. But we've already waited a long time for James Bond, because James Bond is always that's one of the good things about James Bond. Actually, is that it's never the movies don't come out that often. There's a lot of movies, but they come out in a pretty great pace. Like they make sure that they capture the audiences with like people want it. You know what I mean? They're waiting for a while, and then they really want it because they miss it. It's good to kind of create the idea of missing something before you bring it back. Like a great example of Disney not doing that was with the Solo movie for Star Wars. Like, what the heck were you thinking? Like, it's just a close proximity to The Last Jedi was just a bad move, and people didn't seem to know that it was a different Star Wars movie in some circles. Yeah, so that's kind of
because The Last Jedi was still in theaters. I think in some theaters, even when the Han Solo Solo movie called Solo Star Wars Story came out.
Yeah, you can make a lot of money on Star Wars if you plan it out well and you space it out well and you make really good movies and TV shows and you put them in like a pocket of time where people are kind of missing it. It's helpful. James Bond, people are definitely missing it probably already because it's been a while. Because the Broccoli and Amazon were kind of like going head to head trying to get their way for a long time, and then they obviously didn't have a director. We don't have a James Bond. My theory about James Bond is it seems like the rumors, and I saw a tiny snippet of an interview with Aaron Taylor Johnson in an interview for 28 Years Later, and it looks to me like there's a chance he's already been cast but not announced, but we'll see. I have this weird feeling because somebody asked him a question about what's your next movie or something like that, and he was very coy about it. And it was very strange. And he was rumored to be the cast that casted James Bond for a while. So there's a good chance it might be him. But I don't know. Maybe Denis Villeneuve, does he like to hire the same actors? Not really. No.
Yeah, he's not like he's not like a he's not like a Nolan.
He's not like Nolan.
Yeah.
Or Tarantino.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it could be anyone. Yeah, it seems like it could be Aaron Taylor Johnson. Honestly, that seems like a likely choice.
I mean, he it's not like he hasn't done it. Like he had Jake Gyllenhaal for both Enemy and Prisoners. So
yeah, that was pretty early in his when he was starting to get big. Yeah. Enemies. Did you see Enemy? I can't remember.
I did. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. These are Prisoners, right?
No, that's actually the one movie I haven't watched by him. And it's like, I know I'm going to love it, but it's like, I got to sit down 3 hours. My fiance doesn't want to watch it. So I got to like be in the right place, right time. And
right.
I wish they would bring it back to theaters or something. It's like longer movies. I have a tough time watching them at home. Especially if I got to watch it by myself, because there's too many options to be like my mind to wander. And that's a movie I want to fucking sit down and watch, dude. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get into a zone where I'm just going to sit and watch it. Because, again, I know it's phenomenal. I mean, I guess he has directed things further back, maybe. But I think that's like one of his only movie that I haven't.
Is one of them. Enemy is one of them, yeah.
Yeah. So, and Enemy and Prisoners were the same year, funnily enough. But again, Blade Runner 2049 is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's immaculate.
Yeah, it's excellent. Are you going to play the James Bond game?
Me?
Do you think? You're not really an IO Interactive, the developer,
no,
fan and publisher. Actually, they publish it too.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know if you'll jump in. I don't know what it's going to be like because that's IO Interactive is the Hitman developer, and they have a very distinct style of game making, and I love Hitman. But I'm wondering how this will translate. It's interesting. We'll see how it goes. I'm curious to see like that. It would have been nice if they could have had the synergy going with the movie and the game, but it doesn't look like that'll happen because the game, I think, will be out way before the movie. And usually movies and TV shows can get out a lot faster than games, but in this case, because they couldn't decide on anything for like years, that's why this isn't happening. Maybe they'll get this ridiculous Moneypenny show out before on Amazon before the game comes out, because the synergy is helpful, like the cross media synergy. It definitely is. There's many moments of that. I think Cyberpunk Edgerunners is a great example of that. The Last of Us was a great example of that. People went out and bought the game when the show, like the second season of the show, was airing. Just a couple months ago.
I think Neil Druckmann said something along the lines in an interview that it sold an extra 2 million copies. In the time frame of the show airing. I'm like, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So it definitely works. It definitely works. So man. That's useful, but I don't know if they're going to really get anything off the ground before that. But okay, cool. That's good. Good stuff. All right, last bit of kind of news, but not necessarily, is trailers. There's been a lot of trailers, as there always is in the last 2 weeks. We record our episodes every 2 weeks and they launch every 2 weeks on Tuesdays. So this by week, we had a few trailers. I feel like I missed quite a few too, but feel free to chime in with anything you think is more stand out-ish. But the Naked Gun trailer starring Liam Neeson. There's 2 more Eddington trailers, which is strange because I don't understand why they're releasing them back to back. There was 2 of them. The first one I thought was excellent, and then I saw the second one. I was like, whoa. Like, slow your roll. You don't need to necessarily do that. But anyway, because the first trailer was really great. The first trailer we saw together, we've seen many times, is the teaser. But the trailer, like the full first official trailer,
that came out like really 2 weeks ago, right?
That was really good.
It was.
I was like, I was shocked how good these trailers are. They're like really well built. The third one, I can't remember.
I saw the final one, right? I didn't watch this. Like, it just came out like a few days ago. I haven't seen it, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this movie. It's so close. Like, why are you doing 2 trailers back to back? It's weird. Yeah, that was my same thought process. So I haven't watched the most recent one. Is it? You know what's interesting?
Yeah. I don't know if it revealed. I think it revealed the same thing. They're just kind of rediced it, I think. But like, the thing that I find weird though is when you cut a trailer and it's really good. Marvel obviously does this too much. We just talked about how they release too many trailers. It's a problem, and they release too much information in the trailers. But I find it ridiculous that, like, if you make a really, really crazy good cut, like the Eddington first trailer, like the big trailer that they launched a few weeks ago, was really good. So why bother making another one? Because let's say I watch it and I'm like, oh, did you see the Eddington trailer? And then anyone would just be like, yeah. but they don't know which one because there's too many of them. There's an idea that you can just kind of make your marketing more concise, and it would actually help you in a way. And I find even like if I'm looking online, I'm looking for the trailer and I find the wrong one and I don't realize it's a different one. You don't need to make multiple, especially for Eddington. Marvel is different, maybe because they get such a big movie, and same with Superman. There's maybe a few too many Superman trailers, to be honest, as well. Because there was another one that was just released, I think, last week too. They're like, final trailer. It's like, guys, your trailer is good. You don't need it. I really just don't like have a bit of mystery. You don't need to add more scenes anyway. But yeah, okay. I'm moving on from that. But Naked Gun trailer, 2 more Eddington trailers. The Roof Man. I don't know if you saw the trailer for this. Bugonia. The Bugonia trailer is crazy. It's really good. There's a Final Fantastic 4 trailer. I'm just gonna say right now I didn't watch it. But and any other trailer you want to mention? Anything you want to point out? Talk about?
So I have no attachment to the original Naked Gun movies. I watched this new Naked Gun trailer. I think it played in front of something we watched, like maybe Ballerina or something. I don't remember.
No.
Where did it play?
Nowhere.
I feel like we saw.
Not you and me. Oh wait,
no?
28 years late. No, it wouldn't be because it was a comedy. No, we never saw it together. I watched it at home. It was a new trailer. They had the teaser, the one with Liam Neeson. I saw that one many times. The Liam Neeson's in a skirt in the bank.
Oh,
that one we might have saw the Ballerina, but there was like a full trailer where he's like farting in the car and stuff. You saw that? He's having gas issues.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I'm trying to remember. All I remember is they're all standing
or something.
They're all standing in front of like pictures of who I guess their parents are supposed to be from the original cast. And there's the one guy standing in teaser. Okay. Then I see the teaser and the guy's like standing in front of the OJ.
I just described this confusion, and we're living it now.
Yeah,
there's too many trailers, so we don't know which one we're talking about.
Yeah,
see, that's the problem. But anyway, the full trailer was pretty good. I'm kind of interested in this. I saw Naked Gun way back in the day. I think I saw like the first one with
very slapstick style of humor.
Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah. No. But the Roof Man, but yeah, the Roof Man I did watch. Seems interesting, actually.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like this. I guess it's based on a true story. Channing Tatum plays like this or this convict that escapes prison, and then he lives in like a roof of like a Walmart or whatever.
Right.
And it seems like a fun premise. Honestly, I like Channing Tatum. It's also funny because his name's Jeff in this, and it makes me think of 21 Jump Street or 22 Jump Street when he's like, "Hi, my name's Jeff."
Oh.
Like that, right. You remember? But yeah, I was like, this looks really interesting. The Begonia trailer I didn't watch, actually. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, okay. Begonia is it's Yorgos Lanthimos.
Oh,
it came out really recently, like a few days from when we're recording this.
Oh,
it looks really good. Yorgos Lanthimos has such an interesting style of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was the last one I saw? It seems like also it's Emma Stone is in almost every movie lately that he's been making. But I saw the one that got nominated for Best Picture.
Poor Things.
Poor Things. Oh, sorry, you said it. Yeah, Poor Things. Was really good, but really crazy. Like, it's really crazy. I was just looking at the Roof Man though for a second, and I'm just looking at who is the director for that, and it's Derek Cianfrance, which he's the director of like The Place Beyond the Pines and Blue Valentine.
Mm.
And I know this much is true with Mark Ruffalo. Interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. Let me just take a look at the writing. He also wrote The Sound of Metal.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, this is a good track record.
Damn.
Kind of exciting, actually. I'm curious about this. And he wrote Roof Man and he directed it.
Interesting. It's really crazy because like that trailer has like 8 million views on YouTube.
Roof Man?
Yeah, 8.1 million views. I'm like
Channing Tatum, dude.
People that's crazy.
Channing Tatum.
He just brings in people. I like Channing Tatum. Yeah. He's good. He's a good actor. He's funny.
Yeah. Peter Dinklage is in it. I don't know if you said that already.
Yep. No, I didn't say it. And Kirsten Dunst is also in it.
Yeah,
which is cool.
That's cool.
So yeah, looks neat. There was also a new Weapons trailer.
I didn't watch that. Yeah. I didn't watch that. I didn't write it down because I didn't watch it. Yeah, it's a good point though. Yeah, I did want to watch that because that seems like it's the magic is in the mystery of that.
I'm stoked for that fucking movie. Looks fucking awesome.
That one so we talked about the trailer a little while ago, like the first trailer when we watched it, and then there was the other one. What's the other horror movie? The one about like codependence or whatever. The one with Alison Brie. Together. Yeah, I'm much less interested in Together, actually. Having watched the trailer and seen the marketing, I'm like, I'm okay. It just seems like the body horror aspect, I'm not sure I'm that interested. Weapons, though, legitimately, because I like the mystery horror and the drama horror. Like, that's more my speed. Like, that just seems like it's going to be really creepy and like, really, like, Together is just going to be really creepy. And yeah, I'm not sure that's maybe going to be up my alley. There's just too many movies, to be honest, coming out in this, like, small time frame over the summer, and I'm just not sure we don't get to them all. I shouldn't say we're not sure. I don't feel like we ever get to all of them. So it's going to be tough for us to watch all of them together anyway. I'm sure you're super psyched about Together as well, but
I am. I mean, I love Alison Brie, and I'm a big fan of Dave Franco. Alison Brie was one of like my big celebrity crushes. Like from Community, like, and I think she's just a phenomenal actress. I really like her, and I also think Dave Franco's awesome. He plays himself in the studio, and he's so fucking good in it, dude. Like, he's so good. But yeah, like, I'm very curious. I mean, it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes with like 40-something reviews, dude. It's pretty wild, and it's a horror movie, like a body horror. I'm not huge into body horror, but I do enjoy it from time to time. This is a movie I really want to watch, but if you don't want to watch it, my fiance definitely doesn't want to watch it. Maybe this is a solo
just ask
trip.
me when it's coming out. When is it coming out?
Beginning of August.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll play it by year. We got to play it by year with everything. There's just too many movies. It's insane.
It's relentless.
I don't even know. I hope this is really good for our local theaters. That's kind of the main thing I'm hoping for. I think we're going to be seeing more movies at a like higher volume over the next little bit. So that's
we're going to go once a week at this point.
Yeah,
for the next
probably.
For the entire summer. Almost.
Yeah. I just feel like we're busy people. You more so than even me. Like, I feel like you're a pretty busy guy. So it's hopefully
busy beaver, dude.
We can make the schedule work. But yeah. Okay, well, that's it for the quick bites of news. So it's now Adrian. Sorry.
Watch out.
Do you have something? Oh,
no, I just did sound effects. Sorry, Simon. Sorry.
I didn't give you a chance to say. Do you have anything else to say? I feel bad.
Oh.
Anything else to say?
No.
Okay. Cool. All right. Now on to the montage, a sequence of our show in which I briefly present 7 of the bye-week's smaller news stories as Adrian delivers a brisk verdict.
Okay.
Number 1. As Deadline reports, actor Samuel L. Jackson is set to headline creator Taylor Sheridan's Tulsa King spin-off crime drama series, Nola King, at Paramount+. Jackson will star alongside Sylvester Stallone in Tulsa King's 3rd season before the New Orleans set, Nola King, premieres.
Interesting. I don't really care about this personally, but it's cool.
Taylor Sheridan has like so many shows.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I haven't watched any of his shows, but I've seen him in Sons of Anarchy.
Number 2. Disney has taken full control of streaming service Hulu after finalizing the deal to purchase the last third of the service from previous partner NBC Universal. The overall purchase price was around $9 billion, and the deal is meant to streamline Disney's streaming offerings.
That's crazy. That's so much money.
Number 3. Punisher actor Jon Bernthal has been cast as Frank Castle, aka The Punisher, in the next Tom Holland starring Spider-Man film, Spider-Man Brand New Day, which currently has a July 31st, 2026 release date.
He's gonna fucking shoot Spider-Man in the face. He's just gonna kill fucking Tom Holland in the most brutal way. It's gonna be so shocking.
Number 4. According to Deadline, The Social Network writer Aaron Sorkin is looking to write and direct The Social Network Part 2 that is based upon the Wall Street Journal's The Facebook Files by writer Jeff Horowitz.
Oh, interesting. I still gotta watch The Social Network Part 1.
Number 5. As Deadline reports, Raised by Wolves showrunner Aaron Guzikowski is writing the screenplay to an animated film adapted from the universe of director Hideo Kojima's science fiction video game series Death Stranding.
Yes, this is super cool because it's not adapting the game, it's a new story in the universe.
Number 6. As reported by publication The Hollywood Reporter, Stick actor Owen Wilson has been cast to reprise his role in the upcoming 4th installment in the Meet the Parents franchise, where Ben Stiller's Meet the Parents character will now play one of the parents referenced in the franchise's title.
Wow, cool. I liked these movies as a kid. I think I've only seen Meet the Fockers and Meet the Parents, or whatever. The first two. Whatever the first two were.
Number 7. As announced by Disney, a live-action Lilo & Stitch 2 has been greenlit and is now in development.
Oh my god. I still gotta watch this live-action Lilo & Stitch 1, dude. Just not enough time, dude. Not enough time.
And that concludes the montage.
Wow.
Okay. Super. All right. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Whew. All right. Well, it's time to move on now, Adrian, to what we've been watching this week. And I've watched a lot of things. I'll throw it to you first. I'm going to talk very little about the things I've watched because we also watched 2 things together that will take up a lot of our time as well. But feel free, talk as much as you want about the things you've watched.
Okay,
what have you watched this week?
Okay, I've watched a few things, but I'm going to save 2 of the things that I watched in relation to one of the movies we watched together. Okay, because it's part of the entire conversation. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? Okay, fantastic. Yep. So I watched the first 2 episodes of The Bear season 4, and I really like it, actually. I think it's kind of solving the issue that a lot of people had with season 3, which I still really liked, where season 3 kind of ends exactly where it began with the same characters, right? And there's no like character growth. And I think they realize this, and very quickly in these first 2 episodes of season 4, there is already significant character growth with the characters that have essentially stayed stagnant in the entirety of season 3. There's also almost like I don't want to say a lighthearted tone, but there's more hope in this, despite it being like a very like, hey, like anxiety inducing. There's a time limit, shit that's kind of being set up, but there's a level of levity to it that is honestly kind of needed. I don't want to be constantly stressed watching a series of television. It's nice, but I feel like they took a lot of the criticisms of season 3 and are bringing it into season 4, which is weird because looking at the reviews, season 4 is reviewed the worst. And I honestly believe that season 4 is better than season 3, at least with these first 2 episodes. Maybe it goes downhill like crazy, but I'm really enjoying it. Have you watched any of the Bear season 4 yet, though?
No, I've got so many shows I'm watching simultaneously. And so many video games I'm playing simultaneously. It's just, it's too much.
It is.
So no.
Yeah, it is a lot. But it's really good so far. I'm excited. I want to keep watching it. And it sucks because, again, there is a lot of shows that have come out. I still got to finish Andor. Squid Game just came out the other day, which I want to watch. Too much, dude. Too much fucking things to watch.
Yeah, the Bear. I just resubscribed to Netflix too, and I don't subscribe to Netflix for more than a few months at a time. So I'm probably going to do Squid Game next.
Nice.
Before the Bear,
because you're watching. You were watching the final season, right? Or have you started that yet? I know you were talking about it.
Yeah. We're getting through that. We're getting through it.
Nice.
I'm just looking at the scores for. It's interesting for the Bear. The Bear is reviewed better on an audience perspective for season 4 than season 3 is.
Mm-hmm.
But season 4 is not that far off of season 3, right? It's like what 89 versus 82, so it's 7% difference.
Okay,
it's almost negligible.
Yeah,
because it's just an aggregator. But yeah, it's interesting. I feel like the best season is exactly how it's reviewed here. It's the Bear season 2 is 99% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that's who's the 1%. Like, what kind of an asshole
who
reviewed it that way? That's what I think.
Taste.
I don't know.
Man, they got no taste.
I don't know.
But I also started rewatching You with my fiance because she's never watched it. So we're on season 1.
Me? I'm sorry, you paused there.
Yeah,
me?
I was hoping you. Yeah, you, dude, you.
Me?
No. But we're watching. So we're working our way. We're working our way through season 1.
Social cues, not my strong suit in that moment.
Hey, dude, don't worry about it. Don't even fret, brother. But yeah, we're rewatching season 1. We were gonna watch Stranger Things, but then I was also kind of like, well, Stranger Things isn't out until November, so like let's watch You. It's done. We can kind of get through that slowly, and then we'll hop into Stranger Things and hopefully kind of like lead up to the November release. So it's great, man. You is really good. It's like at least that first season. I remember really liking seasons 2 and 3, and I remember liking 4, but I think it was the weakest. But like there's this level of absurdity to it that lends to like this comedy. Yeah, all throughout the show. It's just so over the top and absurd because it's it stars Penn Badgley, and he's like this essentially a stalker, like a crazy stalker, and like likes this like when he sees like a woman. Yeah,
but yeah, sure.
Yeah, he sees this woman who's played by the girl. Oh my God, what's her name? The woman. She's in Five Nights at Freddy's as well.
The character's name is Beck.
Yeah, Beck. But yeah, he like sees her and is just instantly in love with her. And like, it's like, what lengths is he kind of going to Elizabeth Lale is her name, like to date this woman. And it's just, it's so funny, man. And like the characters are so interesting as well. Cause like no character in the show, like he like idolizes this woman named Beck, but she kind of sucks. Like when you really watch her and like her actions and everything, like she's not necessarily a great person either. So it like lends to like everyone's a little bit flawed, and it's really good. I really like You. And then again, I watched a couple of movies, but I'll wait to bring these up until we talk about another movie. So you tell me, what have you watched, man? What have you watched?
So I think the best segue is to go to You season 5. So I'm not rewatching it, and it's fine. No need to rewatch it. It's good. I do like it too. Season 5, I feel like has a slow start. What I like best about You overall is the creativity in which the writer's room seems to like evolve the story and change up the situations in which Penn Badgley's character Joe Goldberg finds himself in. I think that's the best part of it. And it doesn't really try to do the same thing twice. It typically changes it pretty fundamentally, even though it's a similar idea. This guy's a crazy person and you're just watching him. And he's the craziest thing about the show, I think, is that he's narrating and you're watching this crazy guy as if like he's like he thinks clearly that he's the hero of his own story. And that's the beauty of it, when he's clearly the worst. And so that's the great thing. This season is pretty good. I do find that the Bronte character kind of annoying. I gotta say, she's written kind of annoying. I'm not sure Bronte. I like her, but you'll see her. You'll see her in season. You haven't gotten to season 5, right?
No.
Okay.
Was she in season 4 or no?
No. New character. The new character named Bronte. I'm just gonna leave it there. You can agree or disagree when you watch it. I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't love that character. I don't know. It's funny because I was like, I almost changed my mind on it. I'm like, oh, this has actually gotten interesting, because again, they always evolve the story. They always do these little twists and turns. They love the little twists in this series. Yeah. And so they do these twists and turns just like they do every season. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe she's cool. And then it's kind of just goes back. It's kind of fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's a fun show. It's fun to watch. Yeah. But the first few episodes felt like a bit more of a drag. We weren't in the mode for it, but it feels good. It's cool. I'm just curious to see how it ends, because it's the last season, and what's it going to be? How's it going to go? I don't know. Mm-hmm. We'll see. But anyway, so that's You season 5, and then I watched many different things as well. I've been catching up on The Studio. You've talked about that a lot, and I don't want to go into that too much because I haven't gone too much on that show yet. The the second episode of the series, very good. I know you talked about it, very good. Yep. The third episode is what we got to next. I think the one with Ron Howard. Very good. Oh my goodness. Ron Howard is really great. I just feel like he's a good actor and he's a good director, and I think he's just great. I like Ron Howard a lot. Ron Howard. Yeah. Oh, there was a movie. Wait, wasn't there a trailer from Ron Howard? Am I crazy? Ron Howard is directing something soon, and I thought I just saw something from. That's funny that I just thought of that, because I saw him in The Studio, and then it's a movie called Eden. No, I never saw. No, there was a trailer for it. Did you watch this trailer, Eden?
I watched the first trailer because it's like Sydney Sweeney, Ana de Armas, Vanessa Kirby, Jude Law, and they're like stuck on an island together with Daniel Bruhl. Yeah, I watched the first trailer. The first trailer came out many months ago, I think. What a cast! Jesus.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting too. But anyway, yeah. So studio, very, very good. It's great, the dedication to the direction, like the directing process that Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen have taken with this show, because it's not just a oneer episode. There's a lot of oneers. Like they really hold the shot, and that's part of the anxiety inducing aspect of the studio. My fiance doesn't really like the studio. She finds it too stressful, and there's not honestly a lot of likable characters, which is actually shocking that you like it, because you always talk about not liking things because you don't like unlikable characters. There's very few likable characters in this show, if there's any likable characters at all. So I'm actually, it is a curious question. Is that maybe something that you like to reassess, or is it something that you just kind of find that the filmmaking process is so good here that you give it a pass, or is there anything?
Yeah, I think there's a level of comedy to it, right? Like it's like,
so it's if it's comedic and it's unlikable characters, then it works. And okay, that's good.
Like it's like, I don't know, like think of it like I like It's Always Sunny. I watched the first like 7 seasons of that show. And I really liked it. They're the worst fucking people on planet Earth.
Same with Seinfeld. Yeah,
right?
That's like true. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, you just don't like the drama over self-serious people, and then they're also a drag to watch because they're just like, all assholes. That's fair. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's good for my knowledge, for my recommendations, but that's good. But yeah, so I really like it. I think it's great. I just think the way it's shot and the way it's done, and the actors in it and the cameos in it are really cool. Every episode there's some new little thing. It's like, it's, it's Ron Howard, and who's going to be next, and so it's really great. It's awesome. And I like also, you talked about this specifically, like how we're kind of interested in the industry. So this idea of it kind of leeching, our interest in the industry also leaches into our interest of the show. So you kind of see this filmmaking process. Like that oneer episode was about making a oneer, which is great. It's very poetic. It's a oneer about making a oneer. And it's cool. Okay, well, that's that. I also watched a lot more of Invincible season 3. That's why I mentioned it earlier at the top of the show. Yeah, I've been trying to get through that. Just that's kind of the show I don't watch with my fiance, and so that's been cool. That's been cool. I like that show. It's pretty great. I do enjoy it. I think the voice actors are really good in it. I think that's pretty cool. I'm curious to see how it ends. I don't really remember season 2 and the difference between season 2 and season 1. They just blur together for me.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't even remember. Am I on season 2? I have to go back. I think I'm on season 3. The bug people, right? The bug people are in season 3, right?
No, I think that's season 2.
I'm on season 2? I've been writing season 3 the whole time. I'm on season 2.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I haven't watched it since because the first season ends with a bang. Like it ends with a big finale. Yeah, okay. So yeah, it is season 2. Sorry. My mistake. Anyway, season 2, pretty good. Are we sure it's season?
I thought so.
Seem right. You must be right. Okay.
What's Andor season? They're done season 3, right? Like that was the most recent season. Then it was season 2. I'm confident. Yeah, okay.
See, Andor season 2, the final season of Andor. I've been watching steadily, but steadily in like the slowest way possible, if that makes sense. I have been watching it. I haven't stopped watching it, but I've been watching it like very spaced out, almost like I'm watching it week to week by accident, because there's just so much coming out. I'm also doing that because I'm playing Star Wars Outlaws. Mm-hmm. So that part is it. There's a poetic nature of it, like being in the Star Wars universe, playing a character in the Star Wars universe, and then watching Andor, because of how great Andor's production values are, and like their production design and their costumes, and on top of how incredible their acting and the storyline is and the way it's directed. It's just such a great show. You saw episode 3 of Andor, right? Like episode 3 is probably my favorite one so far by far. I think I'm on episode 5 or something like that. So I'm like almost about halfway through. So it's pretty excellent as was the first season. So did you finish it?
No. I mentioned I was going to watch it, and then and then I was going to watch it on the plane, and then you convinced me not to watch it on the plane. When I came home, your Disney Plus I didn't have access to it anymore. Yeah, so it's like I can watch it on the Disney Basic, but it's like now I got to watch it with fucking commercials.
The sound design's so good too, though. You don't regret it, right? Nicholas Bertel's score, it's so good. It hits so hard. It's amazing.
I mean, like I'm listening with AirPod Pros, dude, so it still sounds good. But
but you can't if you're on the plane. Like the noise canceling is good, but it does take away from it to hear the drone of the engines of the plane.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, last thing I watched here. This one's a little bit of a wild card. We watched this with like the odd, little dessert at the end of the night on occasion, once a week or something like that. But we've been watching Last One Laughing, the UK. And I really like this show. I just like the idea of it. I used to play this game when I was in drama class in high school. And so like you have this competition to see who would not laugh, basically who would win by not laughing. And you'd go around and try to make the other people playing it on stage laugh. And so this is a bunch of comedians in the same room. It's like a game show where it's like known comedians in various countries. They come together. There was a Canadian one, but this is the one for the UK. So we got Richard Ayoade in this. This is probably the most well-known comedian in there. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty funny at times. It's pretty well cut. I'm hoping for the American one because the only one they haven't done is the one in the US, and this is an Amazon Prime show, and obviously Amazon's an American company. So I'm like, are they really having a tough time finding any American comedians? Like, they have so many of them. You don't have to get big ones. Like, they're not really getting the biggest comedians to do these shows anyway. Like, they didn't get Seth Rogen on the Canadian one, so it's like you don't have to go crazy. Just get a few comedians that would be willing to do it. I get maybe the price isn't right for these comedians. Maybe they want the wage, like the salary isn't good. I don't know. I have no idea, but I feel like it just seems like a fun day. Like it's it's shot over the course of 6 hours, so I don't think you need. Like, it's strange.
That's interesting. So is it like 6 episodes or?
Yeah.
6 hour long.
That's not really 6. Yeah, but they're like 40-minute episodes. So
understood.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's kind of a cool setup. Yeah. The Canadian one had John LaJoie. I feel like I'm not pronouncing his name right.
Is that the only guy you know there?
No, Tom Green, dude. Jay Baruchel. I don't really like Jay Baruchel. I don't know. There's something about Jay Baruchel that just...
Jay Baruchel's not on it. He's the host.
Oh. Is Jimmy Carr the host of the UK one?
Yes.
Okay. I really like Jimmy Carr. He's funny as hell.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, interesting.
Cool. Oh man, the most well-known Canadian dude on there is the whose line is it anyway guy. I feel like
the Colin Mockery. That guy coming to Kitchener Mockery in like a month or two. For like some.
Would you say
that guy's coming to Kitchener for like a stand-up show at Center of the Square?
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay. Interesting.
That's cool. That's good.
Tom Green as well is pretty big.
Yeah.
But
anyway, he's a classic. Yeah, I mean, I guess like if we're talking about comfort food, we started watching Ultimatum Queer Love, the second season that just came out on Netflix.
Yep.
I don't know, man. I'm like, I was talking to my fiance about this because like I like reality TV, right? But I think Vanderpump Rules was just so good. And again, you think I'm doing a bit. I am not. I genuinely love Vanderpump Rules.
I don't think you're doing a bit. That's
awesome.
That's why I'm making this face.
Yeah. It's so good. And it's like, it's a storyline over the course of 11 seasons. I'm watching these characters grow and evolve, these people grow and evolve. And I got so attached to them that now it's like watching these kind of reality dating shows. It's like an anthology series that just doesn't hit as hard. It's like... You know, and then so like we're also watching The Valley, which is technically a spinoff of Vanderpump Rules with some of the characters from Vanderpump. And like I'm liking that. Like I like that more than I'm liking Queer Love. You just shrunk a little bit. You just went down there.
I moved my chair down a little bit.
And then I don't know. It's just not hitting as hard. I don't know. But there is I don't know. And then we were also watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It's on Disney Plus on Hulu. And I'm more into that too. But it's because you're watching characters. Like it's like a consistent story.
Well, yeah.
It's like these characters are fucked, dude. They're messed up. These Mormon wives. It's not necessarily like not all of them are, but I think I mentioned it. Like one of the women on it like posted a TikTok a while back where she was dancing in front of her like dying baby. And it's like, what? That's so weird, dude. They're not good people. A lot of them, obviously.
I'm confused though. Like, aren't Mormon like people from like the Mormon religion, aren't they like more prudish? I'm confused. Isn't that a thing?
So some of them are, and it's interesting because they kind of they talk about the Mormon religion quite a bit in that show and how different it is. Like some of them are far more progressive than others and traditional. Like some are more traditional, and it's like they talk about how like toxic a lot of the religion is, especially amongst men, and like how controlling men can be within the religion. And it's cool that they touch on that. I wasn't expecting it for whatever reason. And then so it's like they're not afraid to talk negatively about the religion they're in, and like talk about how there should be some more change in it. And like they'll highlight some of the women. It's like, man, you're in like a very bad relationship with your husband because he's more traditional and he's putting you down, and it's like you should get out of that. It's interesting. Again, it's quite good.
But I'm assuming there's a lot of scandal in this. Am I wrong?
There is.
This is what the point. But how can that's? I guess they're humans, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah. But it's like there's this aspect of like, do they seem less prudish than like the average people that you know in your life? That's why I'm confused. Like
some of them,
it's Mormon. Yeah. So like I don't understand this. I don't want to watch it to find out. But anyway, okay, cool.
Yeah,
good to know. Anything else?
No.
Anything else you've been watching? Okay.
Well, I have, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're gonna do it now. We're jumping into it. Let's watch do you want to go in chronological order from what we watched in theaters? Okay. So we'll start with Ballerina. A John Wick story. What was it? No, Ballerina, John Wick.
From the world of John Wick.
A John Wick mystery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. From the world of John Wick, Ballerina. That's what it was. I think it was colon. Yeah. What are your thoughts? So this is, sorry, I'll give you a little bit of preamble, I guess. It's, I almost said it was Anya Taylor-Joy. Ana de Armas is the ballerina lady. Yes. She's a person who shoots people in the head and fights people and
explodes people, dude. She fucking explodes people.
It's an action film, of course. It takes place in the John Wick universe. It is not directed by either David Leitch or Chad Stahelski. It is directed. Who is it directed by?
To be fair, it kind of was directed by Chad Stahelski. To be fair, because they did a lot of reshoots.
It's Len Wiseman, though, is the director.
Yeah. So, like, they did a lot of reshoots for this movie, I remember. And I think Chad Stahelski was the guy doing the reshoots. And it was my understanding. I read an article on it. I can't remember where. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty confident this was the case, that Len Wiseman was not around for those reshoots. Oh. So it's like, I think it's kind of a mix of the two of them.
Okay.
I can't remember. Where did I read that? I want to say maybe I was like Hollywood Reporter or something.
Okay.
Here, let me.
Interesting.
Ballerina, Chad Stahelski reshoots.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collider.
This is written by Shay Hatton and Derek Kolstad. Oh, no, it's not. It's just Shay Hatton, really. It's based on characters from Derek Kolstad for John Wick's characters. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, just while you're looking this up, I guess. I liked it. I think the fight choreography is really awesome. I think it was very creative. And I think one of the things that's really good about the John Wick series is how much creativity goes into the fight choreography. Yeah. That's probably the best part of the entire series, is that they never seem to do the same thing twice, or it's they at least do it in a different variation of what it was. I think that's important. It's some of the fatigue I have with Marvel actually is that some of the fight sequences are they just don't feel that different. In some spots, and some of them it's great.
Yeah,
a lot of fight choreography in Marvel is good, but that's kind of the thing that they really take their pride in, and I guess it makes sense because the stunt coordinators are the gentlemen who started the series to begin with, like Chad Stahelski and David Leitch. But what did you think of this film? I had problems with the plot, actually. It's just to give my high level thoughts, the end of my bird's eye thoughts, but.
Yeah. I think I had a couple problems with this plot as well, just because of technically this takes place during John Wick 3 / after John Wick 3 as well. And there's these moments where characters, I guess, show up when they shouldn't because of the timeline, if that makes sense.
It doesn't make any
vague.
I think they don't take their story as seriously. My brother watched John Wick 1, I think, and he thought it was garbage.
That's crazy.
And he thought there was no story or whatever. He didn't like it because it's just action and that's it. The thing is that what I like about John Wick's plotline and storyline is that what they do is they they take these simple concepts of the way the world works, and they do world building in a very simple way, and they don't really contradict themselves very often. Mm-hmm. They have some things that don't make sense on the action, like the freaking bulletproof freaking jackets. That's cool. It's not going to work that way.
It's cool.
I'm sorry. But it's fine. Use like a suspension of disbelief. It's like, okay, fine. That's in university. They make it work. But I'm talking about like the way that the hotels work, like the way that the overall, like the hitmen work in this world, and the way everything seems to be analog and these various things, and everything seems to make sense within the world. But this movie kind of didn't, in the way that, again, characters show up in spots that don't make sense. Keanu Reeves' character shows up in spots that doesn't make sense. I don't think there's much to spoil there, to be honest.
Yeah, fair enough. John Wick,
like, I don't want to say anything specific about that, but I just feel like it's weird.
Like, it's like, why? How are you here right now, considering what's happening in John Wick 3 / after John Wick 3? It's that I think is very weird. And I feel like that's just kind of, they're like, we need John Wick in this to bring more people to theaters. Obviously, it doesn't seem like it's working because this movie's not doing too well financially, which is unfortunate. But I do think like this movie is really fun, and again captures that action. It's cool because it's not like they're doing the same, like as you mentioned, like it's unique fighting, right? They're not doing the exact same fighting. Like John Wick Ana de Armas's character doesn't fight the same as John Wick does. And it's because they got different body types, and they acknowledge that in the movie. And the one thing this movie I think does really well as well is that we talked about this actually right after the movie. This movie understands power dynamics between characters better than like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as an example.
Yeah.
It understands how powerful someone is. And even if, a character is kicking ass, if they go up against another character that is, better
superior
than them.
Yeah.
Sure. In pretty much every way. They don't beat around the bush. It's like, no, that person is going to kick
more skilled, and that's it.
Yeah.
They're more talented, they're more skilled, and here it is. We're not going to pretend. Exactly. They could lose to that person, but you have to show the weaknesses in which they press the pressure points to make that happen. Like John Wick is the most powerful character in that universe. You show that very clearly. There's no reason to pretend that it's not that because of the character, the movie being called Ballerina. It doesn't. You don't have to do that. It's okay. You can specifically specify, and that actually makes it more interesting because
I agree.
We are flawed human beings in real life. These characters can be flawed in the movie, and how do you overcome those flaws to win the day? I think that's important. Yeah. And I hope the MCU learns that. I hope that with the Russo brothers in charge of the next Avengers movie, that they go back to the roots of doing that type of thing. That I think is important. But I guess we'll see. But
definitely. And though I did have a couple of gripes with this movie. We talked a little bit about it with Mission Impossible, where it's like the plot serves the action, not the action serves the plot. And like this movie is literally the plot serves the action. Like it just pushes. It's just putting Ana de Armas in situations where crazy stuff happens.
The action is the plot, though. I make that argument that there's a certain kind of movie here, but then again, the plot does suffer though from not being tight enough. Like it's so simple. How did you not make it tight enough? Like it's overall, even like the character development. I found like Ana de Armas is kind of like, I don't know, like who are you really? Like I don't know. I'm not completely sold. But the main problem was, of course, the weird, like you have to shoe in certain characters to make it sell better, I guess.
And I feel like what they should have done, because when the movie starts, it's like Ana de Armas, she goes on kind of like her first mission, and she like fumbles a lot, like and gets her ass kicked, and it's like it's pretty like it's pretty rough. And then after that, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be cool because we're gonna see this character get essentially her ass kicked a bunch, but like persevere in the face of that. And I think they have that first awesome like fight scene in that like ice bar, which is fucking such a cool like idea. And they use the ice in the fight as well and slipping and sliding. And I loved that like choreography. It was really awesome. And then after that, it's like a 3-month time jump. And then all of a sudden she's like a super killer. And it's like she doesn't struggle as much like throughout the movie, which I feel like was a little bit of a missed opportunity until
I feel like it was nerves.
But
yeah.
Yeah, until she gets...
This is first time jitters.
Maybe, yeah. I just feel like they could have played around with that a little bit more, and I think that was a missed opportunity. But again, the choreography in this is so cool. They use explosions a lot in this movie, which I don't think the John Wick movies do. John Wick is very much, it's gun fu, right? It's like shooting, double tapping people, beating the living crap out of each other. This movie's explosive. There's grenades going off left and right, people fucking splattering against the wall when grenades go out. It's cool, dude. Like, and that's like the one thing that this movie I think really had going for it. Norman Reedus is also in this, severely underutilized.
Yeah,
severely.
That's like the worst thing about the movie, maybe on the plot perspective, is like they had him in it, and I don't know. I guess they just, maybe he's not the most respected actor. Not that he's like a bad guy. I mean more like he's just not in a lot of things. Like he was hired on for this small.
Yeah,
I guess. I mean, it's disappointing. Well, no, he's in other things. He's in a Danny Boyle movie, isn't he? Am I crazy?
I don't know.
I'll look it up while you continue. Yeah. But I feel like that was a mistake.
I feel like he's underutilized. And the one thing with this movie is you did touch on this. Like, the plot is kind of lacking in this. And it's weird because they have so many moments where they set up a plot line that can go somewhere really cool, and they just kind of sweep it under the rug. And it happens multiple times, actually, throughout the movie, where I was like, wait, what? Like, they set up a plot element and it's solved within like 2 to 3 minutes. Like a big like plot reveal. I'm thinking especially in the third act. Like, there's this big plot reveal and it just kind of is like, okay, never mind. And I found that a little jarring. But I don't think that's a huge issue in this movie, in the sense of like this movie's about the action. It's about the fight choreography. And it's like, as long as that's really good and really fun to watch, like, I'm okay with it. But I think because of that lacking in a weird way, this is probably the worst movie in the John Wick franchise. Like, maybe like John Wick 3, I think from a plot perspective it goes nowhere. Like, it literally ends where it begins. We talked about this. It's interesting because The Bear season 3 also did this. But at least there's like amazing fight scenes of the freaking horses in the desert, like how the movie starts. It's cool, dude. And I think that's kind of where it serves. But yeah, I don't know. There is also this level of, we talked about this as well, like physical comedy in the John Wick franchise. And Ballerina has a lot of that. Like, I'm thinking of like the plates and like the plate scene where they're just beating each other up with a bunch of plates. It's funny. Like, there's a lot of these good moments. The movie itself isn't like a comedy, but there is a lot of comedic elements sprinkled throughout. But yeah, I think it was pretty good. I think it could have been better, but I still really enjoyed it. And it's a movie I could rewatch just because the action is so fun to look at,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I just feel like you got to care about the plot a bit more. Mm-hmm. I just think it matters. It does matter. And I think there's just like, it's too thin for me to care enough. I want to care more about the characters, but I did enjoy it. It was fun to watch. It's a fun movie to watch because the action, again, is really well choreographed, and it's But that's cool. Cool. That's cool. What do you rate this one?
Like 3.5 probably. We have
3.5. 3.5 out of 5 plus 3.5 out of 5 is a 7 out of 10.
Yes.
Potatoes.
Yes, Simon.
Yeah, it was good.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good. I would say it's good largely. Anyone who likes the John Wick franchise is definitely worth watching. Mm-hmm. But I want to see, like, I wanted to, at the end of the movie, want to see Ana de Armas' character again later, but I can't, she's just not memorable. Like, as a character perspective. Her fight scenes were cool, but like, that's not quite enough. It's funny because John Wick doesn't say any lines. Like, notoriously, he says no lines, but I'm still compelled to see him. There's something about him as a character that's intriguing. I think even in this movie, he says so few lines, but he's just, there's something, the way that Keanu Reeves like carries John Wick's character. It's I don't know, he's compelling in some way. Mm-hmm. I just didn't find Ana de Armas that compelling. It's not the acting necessarily. It's just that maybe didn't fully develop who she is. I guess that's kind of the point, though. It's kind of a coming of age tale in some way. Yeah, it's like a training montage movie in a lot of spots, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right, let's move into the movie probably most anticipated by us for the year, maybe one of the most anticipated movies for the year, certainly. We watched in theaters more recently, 28 years later, directed by Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland.
Yes.
this was a big one. It's many years after 28 Days Later, which was the collaboration between Danny Boyle and Alex Garland previously. 28 Weeks Later was famously not written or directed by either of those two men.
But it is canon in this universe, which is a key thing to know. Because
you just watched it and you want to make sure that it was worth your time.
Yeah. So I went back, right? So like that's kind of, I was saving two other things that I watched to lead up to this. Because I watched 28 Days Later the night before we went to watch 28 Years Later. And then I watched 28 Weeks Later the day after I watched 28 Years Later. Because I forgot, I've only seen 28 Weeks Later once, and I remember not really liking it. And on a rewatch, it's better than I remember, but it's definitely not as good as either 28 Days or Years.
Right.
I think it 28 Weeks Later, I think really dives into it's directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo. I'm butchering the name. I apologize, Juan Carlos.
What has he done? Oh, I forgot. I looked this up about, just to go back on that. Norman Reedus and Danny Boyle, I don't think they work together, so I don't know why I said that. Anyway, sorry, go on. Juan Carlos, what did he do?
Nothing that we know about, really.
Oh.
Intacto. Okay. Yeah. He did the Crow remake. No, he did not. He was going to back in 2011, then didn't do anything.
Oh.
He was attached to direct.
No, he directed Damsel.
Did he?
Didn't he?
It says that he was attached to it, but I don't know if he actually directed it. No, he did. Okay, cool. He did. I don't really remember that movie. I didn't even watch that movie, sorry.
So you don't remember it.
Yeah. So
you never saw it.
Yeah, so I want to talk a little bit about 28 Weeks Later in the sense of I was like, why didn't I like this movie at the time? Because again, I like it more on this rewatch, but it still is worse than 28 Days Later and 28 Years Later. And I was sitting there and after finishing, I was like, why isn't it as good? Because he tries to mimic that very similar filming style that Danny Boyle does for both 28 Days and Years, funnily enough. So he tries to almost mimic it, and it's not bad. It feels good. I think it's not as refined as it is, especially in 28 Years Later, but it's still good. And
I don't know if refined would be the word I would use to describe the filmmaking style. But yeah,
fair enough. I guess not refined.
But I know what you mean. I mean, you mean not. He didn't capture it. He didn't capture the essence of it enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not bad. And after watching, I was like, there's something missing. And I was like, I don't know exactly what it is. It's ultra violent, arguably too violent at parts. There's moment. I think he really doubled down on the violence because 28 Days, although it's relatively violent, there's a style to it. Whereas in this movie, it's very evident. The violence is there. And I feel like maybe Juan Carlos thought that was the main point of 28 Days Later. And what he forgot to do when he's making that movie is focus on the characters. And that's kind of what I realized. Whereas I finished the movie and I'm like, there are main characters in this movie. There's Rose Byrne. She's also in this. Jeremy Renner's in this. Idris Elba's in this, right? It's a crazy cast. But after I finished the movie, I don't remember any of their names. I just watched it recently. I don't remember any of their names. And they don't have personalities apart from the role they play. There's the kids in the movie, and their role is to be little kids in a bad situation. Jeremy Renner is a soldier dude, and his role is he's a soldier dude with a heart.
Wait, is he American?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because the premise of 28 Weeks Later it takes place 28 weeks after 28 days, if I recall correctly, or after the initial
the outbreak.
Yeah, and the virus has died, apparently, because at the end of 28 Days Later, you see the infected kind of just die and they're starving off. And that's what happens. And they essentially, okay, cool, the infection's gone. So the American, NATO comes into the UK and they rebuild a part of, I think, London or whatever, where it's a safe zone. And they're starting to bring people back there. So there's a population of 15,000 people or something like that. So the American military's there. And it's kind of that's the setup. Robert Carlyle, he plays the dad to the kids. He sent the kids away on a trip before the outbreak happened. And the thing that 28 Weeks Later does actually amazingly is the opening. It's one of the most, it's I think the best opening in the franchise, actually. It's so intense and really cool. And long story short, once they're reopening, London, the kids can finally fly back and see the father. But not to dive too deep into the plot, long story short, the infection does come back, and it's because like someone that is infected, and it's the infection has evolved to just make them a carrier. So they're not crazy. They're not like killing people, but they are carrying it, and it can still transfer to someone like through saliva or whatever. And eventually that happens, and then shit goes awry in this military situation. And it's about like Rose Byrne and Jeremy Renner trying to get these kids to safety. And that's kind of the premise of the movie. But again, it's very forgetful in the sense of like who these characters are, and like again, there's not that charm to it that like 28 Days Later has, which is about the characters. 28 Years Later is about the characters in a setting, whereas I think 28 Weeks Later kind of doubles down on it's about the setting, and the characters are there just to kind of serve the plot in a way that's not as good as the other movies.
Action, really. Serve the
setting. Yeah, actually, that's exactly it, and it's there just to have an idea.
Interesting.
So I think that's kind of where that movie misses. It's still good, like I still like it, and again, like where it goes is pretty interesting. But what's especially interesting about 28 Weeks Later is that it introduces a lot of elements that they use in 28 Years Later. Again, the infection's kind of evolving. There's the first alpha is in 28 Weeks Later, which is like a main plot point in 28 Years Later. And where 28 Weeks Later ends is super interesting because they retcon it in 28 Years Later with one line at the start of the movie where they say the infection has been pushed back to only like the UK. And again, spoilers, I guess, for like 28 Weeks Later. The end, it alludes to the infection kind of spreading outside of the UK. But again, there's a line of dialogue in 28 Years Later. It's like they push the infection back, and now it's like it's just in that area. And I think that's honestly one of the coolest parts about 28 Years Later is not necessarily that it's you're following these characters in like this in the UK it's British, but that the rest of the world is just running normally outside of there. And it's such a cool idea. And they reference like, oh, there's the French ships like kind of going by to make sure that no one can leave because they don't want that virus to spread throughout the rest of the world. And I think that's just such a cool idea. And watching 28 Days Later, again, the night before 28 Years Later, and how much Danny Boyle and I think Alex Garland have evolved as both writers and directors is really cool, but they still capture that charm that 28 Days Later has in such a way. And again, the characters are what's the focus in 28 Years Later, which is what the focus was in 28 Days Later. I don't really I care, like it's a cool idea. It's the introduction of the running infected. Like that's what 28 Days Later brought to the table. But like, I don't care about the running infected. I care about the people trying to survive in that situation and their relationships and their bonds. And again, even the characters that are introduced that are like the villains, they have personality. They're interesting to follow. And like, you understand their kind of point of view in a weird way, even though it's really fucked up in like 28 Days Later. And I think 28 Years Later captures all of that and pushes it to the next level where right after the movie, I was like, I love 28 Days Later. It's classic. And I think I like that movie more than 28 Years Later. But the more I've marinated on this, I think 28 Years Later is actually the better movie and has like done something so wholly unique in an otherwise beaten to death genre of zombies. We've had fucking 20 seasons of Walking Dead shows. Whether that's the original,
those are all the same world, I guess. In their defense, I mean, like The Last of Us is,
The Last of Us.
You can say the same thing about The Last of Us. You can do it. It's just you need to have the inkling to do it. The problem is that we haven't beaten to death with The Walking Dead. Certainly,
yes.
Like The Walking Dead in general, it's almost its own thing.
So it's just really cool to see that they've created something wholly unique in a genre that again is arguably beaten to death. But I get where you're coming from because The Walking Dead is beaten to death. And my favorite part about this movie as well is I mean, we talked about the Neil Druckmann and Alex Garland interview where they're talking, and they both very clearly have an admiration for each other. And Neil Druckmann says that he used 28 Days Later as inspiration when he created The Last of Us. And it's like this cycle where it's so clear that Alex Garland used The Last of Us as inspiration when writing 28 Years Later in a lot of ways, specifically with, again, like Evolving Infected, the relationship between a kid and a parent, like these little things that are just so connected, but still very different from one another. And again, unique from one another. And I just think this movie's fucking fantastic, like genuinely fucking fantastic. It might be my favorite movie of the year. I got to double check. I got to look at my list, but I loved this so much, like so much. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, wow, like we just witnessed a fucking masterpiece, dude. Like the only other movie that I can think of where I was like, this is I'm watching a masterpiece was Sinners. And it was like when we were sitting in the theater where I was like, oh my God, I'm like watching a masterpiece right now unfold in front of me. Whereas 28 Years Later, I wasn't thinking that in the theater. I was like, I really like this. I think it's cool. But like, again, the more I think about it, the more I love it. And it's like almost reverse recency bias where the further I've gotten away from it, the more I, again, view it positively. Sorry, I rambled on a bit there. I talked about 3 movies. I'm curious, what did you think about this? Because very clearly, I fucking loved it, dude.
Yeah, it was excellent. I really liked it. It's cool. I haven't seen 28 Days Later I saw it first 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I hadn't seen it as recently. I thought that the chaotic nature of the way it's shot, it's crazy. It's filmed on an iPhone and it seems so old in the way that it's like post-processed or whatever they use to filter it. It's really, really neat in that regard. And there's a lot of really neat cinematography, especially like just like these camera angles where they shoot an arrow at an infected, and then you kind of show these multiple angles, these quick cuts. It's really, really neat as the arrow kind of hits them. It's really cool. And I've never really quite seen that in anything else. There's like a lot of chaos. Danny Boyle loves to use these weird angles. He doesn't shoot anything straight as well. He shoots things on these like tilted diagonal angles, which is like very unsettling. And I think that's the whole purpose, is like the chaotic nature of the way it's shot is part of the magic, I think. But yeah, it's really, really cool. The cinematography like genuinely just causes you anxiety throughout it. And like I thought the acting was really neat too, and it's just very, very much an ensemble cast of characters that you just kind of relate to, and there's the human element of it that I feel like you described earlier that really brings you in and grounds the movie, as opposed to it being again about that. It shouldn't be about the setting. That's what makes The Last of Us so good. That's what makes 28 Days Later so good. It's about these individuals that you can relate to as an audience member. And like the father and son element of like the traveling together that you can see in the trailer as an example between Aaron Taylor Johnson's character and Alfie Williams. They both did a bang up job. I thought acting wise, like it's fantastic. And I think Alfie Williams isn't really in anything else. So like
he was most recently in that Netflix show that's very well rated, Adolescence.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think that's one of his first roles. So this kid's, I think, going places because he's in a movie that's reviewed incredibly well, which he acted amazingly in, and that Adolescence show, by all accounts, is phenomenal too. So yeah,
and then like the Jodie Comer plotline, like the story arc in general, is just so good. And Ralph Fiennes' role in it is so good. They're very good. This movie is very, very sad. And I related to it on like a personal level in the way the plot, where it went as well in different ways. And I thought it was, it's really quite sad. And like, obviously we're dealing with a world that's overrun by infected creatures, but human beings. But there's like again, it's the grounded nature of humans dealing with that, and humans dealing with like a post-apocalyptic world that is really the key aspect of it.
Well, again, just to correct you there, a post-apocalyptic like country, because the rest of the world is running fine, which is so cool.
I guess, their universe, their world. But yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the rest of the world is running fine. But it's interesting too how much the plot evolves over time. There's like these elements of wacky comedy in it. There's like these strange beats that like it changes. It almost feels like a TV show in one movie in a weird way, and that it seems like it's like built in chapters, and it's separated by these strange like it constantly, it almost changes in tone, and somehow it does that in a masterful way that doesn't quite make sense. Like I have one criticism of it, and I found that there's a part near the end that I felt almost tonally broke parts of the way the movie is done. I didn't love that, and again, I'm not going to spoil that, but I didn't love that as much. I'm curious to see how they evolve that, because this is a series. It's going to be a trilogy, this 28 years trilogy specifically, that they're going to, like, not that it is a trilogy. I guess it would be the last in a trilogy of 28 movies, but unrelated to 28 weeks and days. It's supposed to be a trilogy of 28 years movies. And so the next one's being directed by Nia DaCosta, who directed Candyman and the lesser loved by me Marvel's movie.
Yeah, but like, did she even direct it? You know, did she?
Who else did it? Who else did she?
Yeah, I know.
But there's no, like, it's not like there's like a shadow director. Like Tony Gilroy came out and directed Gareth Edwards. Like they theoretically they have 50-50 like direction. Like whatever ended up happening. I feel like I like Gareth Edwards movies largely, so I'm not even sure that he made a bad movie without Tony Gilroy. I don't know what that movie, like, we're talking about Rogue One, obviously, but like what does that look like? I don't know what that looks like if Tony Gilroy didn't come in and do the reshoots and writing. But I don't know. It's unknown. But yeah, just the ending of this, there's like a moment at the end, not the ending, but there's a moment at the end that I was like, the tone, did it work? I'm not sure. I'm still not sure, like a week and a half later. But other than that, like, it makes many tonal shifts and they all seem to work. And it just shows many parts of the human condition in a weird way. It's like a strange, like, it takes like these little like deep dives into these characters. There's a coming of age story in it. It's very clear. It's like, I don't know. There's like so many different, like, it changes thematically, and it's really cool.
This might sound like a negative, but again, I actually really like this movie. I'm in the minority, but it kind of reminded me of like Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, where that movie is like, there's 3 distinct chapters in that movie. Like, that movie feels like almost like a TV show with 3 episodes because of like how, like, where it breaks at 3 separate moments.
Yeah.
I like that movie a lot. I know people didn't, but I really do. I don't think it's like anywhere near as good as 28 years later, obviously. But there is that similar. Again, it's segmented. There are distinct points in this movie where it feels, again, the tone shifts, but also the plot moves in a very unexpected way. And I cannot, like, the trailers for this are freaking masterpieces because it nails like what the vibe of the movie is without revealing pretty much any of the movie.
But it almost doesn't nail the vibe, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, the tonal shifts, it nails
some of the vibe.
Sure. It never misconstrues or like misrepresents what the movie is, though, either. So it's pretty great in that regard. I also say that the trailer and parts of the movie have that chant from 1915. I don't know if you saw this. It was recorded in 1915 by like actor Taylor Holmes. Apparently, is like a poem called "Boots" about soldiers marching in war. It's crazy, like that. Yeah. That chant that they play in the movie and they play in the trailer. I thought that was going to be just in the trailer, and the fact that they use that chanting. If you watch the trailer, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's this very haunting, like, old-timey chanting that's going on. And the thing is that they use all this imagery that's not really of its time in the movie. Like, they cut in these various, like, soldiers marching and various things. It just makes you uneasy as an audience watching, like, these 2 characters going into this, like, these vast amounts of, actually, it's strange. This movie almost reminds me a tiny bit, or maybe I should say Death Stranding reminds me a little bit of this movie in a weird way. There's like these giant vast landscapes that feel like they're untamed and almost like uncharted, which makes no sense because obviously it's the UK. It's this place that obviously that people have gone to, but it's 28 years later after this infection and everything doesn't quite look the same. It looks, again, uncharted in a weird way, kind of like Death Stranding's landscapes are all almost look unrecognizable to what we know as people. For the United States as an example in the first game, but It's brilliant. I don't know. Yeah, there's really not much to criticize except for that I don't know about the tonal shift at the end. I'm just a little bit confused by it because it felt like it went a little bit over the line from my perspective. But even the way the movie begins it's just great. It's just really cool. And like there's little Easter eggs throughout the movie of these like little signages and things like these of a culture on the mainland in this film that you're not sure what it's about. Like you're confused by it.
Yeah.
Like they give you little hints of where the plot is going on a overarching perspective while we're really focused as opposed to the overall culture of the UK at this time. They're mainly focused on a few select characters, really this family in Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, Alfie Williams' character, and Jodie Comer. Mm-hmm. But yeah, brilliant. Really, really liked it. I think it's if any fan of 28 Days Later, worth watching. Any fan of movies, because you don't really need the context necessarily. I feel like they give you enough context to understand. There's also a lot of naked people in this movie.
Dude, swinging dicks. Like so much. The alpha, like
makes perfect sense though, right?
Yeah,
makes perfect sense because like why would they have clothes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
just like got off them, but yeah, like the alphas, like
I love that actually.
Huge penises that are just
I love it. The realisticness of it, I thought was really cool. Like I never even thought of that. I don't know why, because they don't do that in movies too much. Like it's very rare. I guess there's like people shy away from nudity, so they don't shoot it directly. You just accept it, right? You're just like, whoa, it's shocking though. This is again another part of the anxiety-inducing aspect of it. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. It's really good. It's excellent.
It is really good. And the one thing I kind of want to give this props for is like this feels different from a lot of movies too. Like it feels more British. Yeah. Like it feels like a British movie. Like, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? Like there does it. Yeah, because I mean, like obviously it takes place there, but like there's like this.
But is there another movie that feels like this though to call it more British?
I guess 28 Days Later is like the other one.
I guess it just feels like a Danny Boyle unique. It just feels like a unique movie, though.
Yeah,
he has different styles for all his movies, like it,
right?
But they are like, British actors in it, I guess, too. So and it takes place in UK. So yeah,
but I fucking love this movie, dude. I loved it. Like I genuinely did. I like it's really good, and the ending is pretty like the tonal shift is kind of wacky, but I'm so curious where they're going to go with it. Because again, like you talked about, it's like they plant so many seeds throughout the movie, and they're like small little visual Easter eggs that make you feel like, okay, there's things happening outside of these characters that we're following. And it's like, what is that? Like, what's that mystery? And hopefully we're going to find that out in the sequel, which I think is already wrapped production and is going to be out next year.
Yeah. I guess piggybacking on my idea that I didn't love the tonal shift, I thought that at the very end, because I feel like it just, again, it kind of just crossed the line just ever so slightly. I feel like maybe even just the way it ends, I guess you know it's being set up for a sequel and so obvious that maybe that kind of bothered me a little bit too. It's like, oh man, this movie's so good. And it kind of felt like there's no like cherry on top. It's kind of like, oh, but you got to come back for more. And that part, I guess, bothered me a
wink and a
nod
kind of thing. Like, where
it's like we get it. But well, it's not even a wink and a nod. It's like you clearly realize that there's more to come.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I feel like they did complete parts of the story does end in some aspect, but it also is clear to continue. It's almost like the Fellowship of the Ring. Like they accomplished something, or like the Two Towers. Like we know we accomplished stuff, but we clearly have more to see here. Yeah. And so I feel like maybe that threw me off a little bit more than I would have liked to. It would have been, or Doom. Oh, better example, Doom Part 1. You know.
Yeah.
But that really ended on a more of a nothing was completed. I guess. So there's a little bit less than that, but it still feels like I kind of wish it was more finalized, and that I like. Yeah, it's great though. What do you score it? What do you think?
This is again the second movie I'm going to be rating a 5 out of 5 for the year. Yeah. Okay. Sinners being the other movie.
Interesting.
Again, I adored this, man. Like, and again, the more I think about it, the more I like it. Just so maybe it'll be a 5.5 next week. Who knows, dude? It's not possible, but you know,
the more you like it, so the more you don't like it.
Whoa,
because it would be next week. Yeah. But so you think your opinion's gonna be worse?
No, better. because the more I
you
like
said
it.
4.5 out of 5. Didn't you rate
No, I
this
said
a 5?
5.5. I said 5.5.
Oh, 5.5. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just misheard you.
Sorry. No, it's okay, man. Don't worry about
what
it.
A waste of a conversation this was. All right. Well, I rated a 4.5 out of 5, coincidentally. Nice. But I don't have a 5 this year. It's really good, though. I really liked it. But those two things kind of threw me off. But I think it's brilliant. And it's just like, again, the amalgamation of everything it is. I just think the way it's shot is like one of the most unique things I've ever seen.
Dude, it's cool.
In such a big major picture. Like it's a big movie theoretically. It's crazy what they did with the cameras though, like the iPhone cameras and like the dedication to shoot it all on iPhone. I saw some interviews with I think it was Aaron Taylor Johnson, where I read an interview and they were talking about like this idea, how they treated like Alfie Williams. And like how Danny Boyle is just so chill on set, but he's like so exacting on what his vision is. I just thought that was really cool because like Alfie's not done that much, and there's this idea of like, especially in the action sequences where you kind of have to have the adrenaline rush. You have to feel you feel like these characters are in that moment. If they feel like their energy is down, then you're like you don't believe it as the audience. That's what Aaron Taylor Johnson was talking about because he's been in a lot of action movies. I guess Tenet is one of them, but he's also more recently been in Kraven the Hunter, you know?
Which I showed you that I showed you that scene from the movie where they just like CGI'd a mouth on like a still image to add dialogue. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, it's crazy. But they were also saying like Danny Boyle and Aaron Taylor Johnson actually was trying to teach Alfie about how to get your adrenaline up, and there's like a collaborative set, and Danny Boyle was it's cool. It's just neat. It's neat. Danny Boyle's a cool guy. He took a break from directing for like 5 years. I didn't realize that. I guess it makes sense though, because I haven't seen a movie come out by him in a while. I think the last movie that I saw come out from him might have been was it what's the movie called? Sorry, the movie with
Trainspotting 2, G2.
Sorry, say it again.
Trainspotting 2.
Yes, Trainspotting. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I think that was the last one. Maybe I'm wrong.
That was in 2017.
Oh, that was way. So I'm wrong then. So something definitely.
It was yesterday, which I honestly had no idea that he.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I like that movie. Did you see it?
No, I had no idea he directed that. I'll be honest with you.
I like the movie a lot. I forgot that one. For some reason I thought Trainspotting came out after. I couldn't remember the name of it. Thank you for the reminder. I kept thinking The Transporter. that's definitely not the name, and that's a Jason Statham action movie, which is not quite as good. So and I think I also thought Transporter because of Death Stranding. It's got Death Stranding on the mind. But
it's good stuff, man.
Cool, man.
He also directed Sunshine.
Cool. All right, 4.5 plus 5 makes it a 9.5 out of 10. That's pretty high. That's one of our highest rated Rotten Potatoes scores we've ever done on this podcast. It's the Focus of Film and TV podcast. All right, Adrian, I think it's time to move on.
Let's do it.
To a segment of our show that I like to call A Look to the Future.
Wow.
Portion of our podcast where each of us present at least 3 of our picks for the TV series or movies that look most interesting to us, that are releasing between the dates of July 1st, 2025 and July 14th, 2025. I'll throw it to you, as is customary.
Thanks.
Which movies, TV shows are you most excited for, sir?
Simon, I think you already know, baby. Jurassic World Rebirth coming out July 2nd. Dinos killing people again? You know I'm going to be there. I love all the Jurassic Park and World movies. I think they're all really fun to varying degrees. But again, I'm a simple man. I just want to see dinosaurs fucking up people, dude. Yeah. And good cast in this one as well. Mahershala Ali, Scarlett Johansson, the guy that looks like Dan Stevens but isn't Dan Stevens.
Do you think that though, or you think that I just was crazy to think that?
I can see the like why you would think that. They kind of look similar.
That's the Bridgerton guy, dude, right? The guy from Bridgerton. That's his big role.
I think so. Jonathan Bailey, right?
Yeah, Jonathan Bailey.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey keep kissing each other on the mouth every red carpet.
Oh, really?
Did you see this? Yeah.
No.
Jonathan Bailey's gay, though. I'm pretty sure. So, and I feel like that's why it's It keeps happening. It made headlines twice, though. I'm pretty sure. Okay. That movie's cool. The most interesting thing about Jurassic World Rebirth that I didn't realize until recently is that it's Gareth Edwards. Speaking of Gareth Edwards.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that, or I wasn't paying attention when it was said. Oh, you might have said it and I just didn't notice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Because Gareth Edwards, I do like his movies, like typically. I like his Godzilla movie. I like Rogue One. I like that movie with the kid with the hole in the side of its head. The
Creator,
AI kid.
Right?
I like that movie. It's quite good. And I think the art and the production design and the CG and all that stuff, like the costume design, very good. Like the artistic like vision of it, it seems pretty good. I feel like it didn't pay off as much as it could have by the end of the movie, but I really liked it. It's cool. So I'm curious about this. I'm curious what this is and how much it is a rebirth. It's funny that it's called Rebirth. I just keep thinking of like Japanese RPG names.
Yeah, Final Fantasy.
Rebirth.
7 Rebirth.
Is the next one is going to be Jurassic World Revival?
Maybe.
Jurassic World Remake.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious. I hope it's good. I hope the plot's good. That's all I care about. You're just so obsessed with these dinosaurs killing people.
Dude, it's coming out Wednesday. You want to watch it on Wednesday?
Probably. We'll see what Dawn's thinking, because it's really my fiance that's going to be the driving force for this one. Yeah. She's definitely, this is like her number one movie of the year. It's funny, she loves Wes Anderson movies, but we didn't go see the Phoenician Scheme. And and I was like, do you want to go see it? Like it could be cool. Like it's fun. We usually go watch those in theaters. And she's like, no, I don't know. It's like, it's not really a movie for the theaters. I don't really care. I'm like, that's kind of sucks though. I don't know. I want to support Wes Anderson. Like I really like his films, that they're quirky and fun. But yeah, we didn't go see it because she said no. But she's like, I just want to go see Jurassic World soon. I'm like, that's the movie I want to see. If I had a choice between them, I'm like, all right, we're gonna go see Jurassic World Rebirth.
I'll message Ken as well, because I know Ken really likes these movies. I want to see if Ken wants to come with us.
Sounds good. Sweet,
cool.
Okay, my first pick is an obvious one. I think it's primed to be the biggest movie of the year. I think it's Superman, July 11th. Superman from director James Gunn, written directed by James Gunn, starring David Corenswet and Nicholas Hoult and Rachel Brosnahan. It looks good. Everything about it kind of tells me that it's going to be good, and I'm excited for James Gunn to get his DCU off the ground in a much more substantial way.
Yeah,
this is the big budget feature that if it fails, the DCU is dead, and I think James Gunn will slowly shuffle off out of his role with Peter Safran in tow. I guess they're both
it's not
co-managers.
I
don't think it will be. Yeah. I think it looks great. I think that James Gunn is very dedicated to his craft in like a really deep way. It's weird that the guy who directed Slither and Super became it's insane. If you look at his career trajectory and then you just look at this, it's almost hard to believe in a strange way. And then, if you look at Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as an example, and look how good that movie is, it's it's just hard to believe. It's very good. It's one of my favorite MCU movies. So, yeah, it's cool. All right,
yeah, dude. I mean, he doesn't miss. He hasn't. I can't think of anything because again, Guardians amazing. The Suicide Squad amazing. Creature Commandos awesome. Peacemaker awesome. This has to be good. This has to be good.
But you just think about it and you think, have you seen Super or Slither as an example?
I haven't seen those movies, no.
It's just if you watch Super, you're like, okay. you couldn't believe it. It's because they're very rated R and they're very, very campy and corny in a way, and they're very violent. And they're good, though. They're good in their way, but they're nothing like this. So it just means that he's just I don't know. I guess evolved. He was just given the keys to the coffers, and, and that's what happens with the keys to the coffers are given to you. I am trying to avoid anything in terms of trailers for Superman, but I saw a clip of it. I'm like, damn it. Because it's, again, one of those marketing things where they just over market the heck out of it to try to sell it.
Yeah.
But anyway, what's your next pick?
So my next pick is, I think this is technically a limited release. We don't really have this playing near us anywhere on this day, but on July 4th, there's a movie coming out called Sorry Baby. I don't know if you heard of this one.
No,
it's
I don't think so.
It's I think a directorial debut from Ava Vincent. She's directing it and starring in it. And it's an A24 flick. It's rated incredibly well. It's like it's labeled as like a black comedy or something, because it's about this woman who like dealt with a very bad thing that happened to her. They don't touch on what it is in the trailer, but everyone's life keeps moving on. So it's kind of this like slice of life movie where like one of her friends comes back, and it's just about how she's going to try to move her life forward from this awful situation that she was in. And it just looks really good. Like the first trailer was really good. And I'm very curious about this. Again, rated incredibly well. We don't have any show times until July 18th at Princess Twin. But by all accounts, I think even on Cineplex, it shows that it releases July 4th. So maybe it's like a limited release. Again, it's a smaller movie, so we might not be able to watch it anywhere. But yeah, I'm quite interested in this one. Looks really good. I love slice of life movies.
Cool.
So
okay,
yeah,
sounds good.
Nice.
My next pick is more mainstream, I guess. It's actually I don't know which one to pick here. I guess I'll pick this one. The Old Guard 2, nice. July 2nd. It's a big Netflix movie with Charlize Theron. The first one was okay.
Yeah,
it must have sold pretty well though. It must have not sold. I guess sold, but they must have been watched pretty well on Netflix. It was okay. I'm hoping it's better. This is the second one.
Maybe, yeah. It is random because that's July 2nd, right? So yeah, it's like
that was like a deep pandemic movie, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was 2020 right in the beginning. Yeah.
Which is like interesting because it's like 5 years. It's weird that they like go back to this stuff. It's like 5 years later to a sequel that honestly I feel like just kind of came and went. We watched it, but I don't fucking remember a goddamn thing about it.
They're like immortal people, right? And they're defending something. They're defending something. There's action, fighting people. Nice. I think there's the character that I don't remember. I don't want to say it because it's a spoiler. Anyway,
dude, I've never.
Oh yeah. You like threw so much shade at Kiki Lane. She's in this as well.
Yeah.
Has Kiki Lane not been in anything else? Because I don't know what does Kiki Lane look like? Kiki Lane. Oh, if Beale Street could talk. Oh yeah, that's a huge movie.
Yeah,
but that was way before.
I remember. I talked a lot of shit.
You threw a lot of shade at her, but she was like in an Oscar nominated film.
Yeah, I did see her in Don't Worry, Darling, and.
Oh yeah,
because apparently she's in that movie.
That movie.
I don't remember.
What a disappointment! I don't think I've been more disappointed in a movie.
That was so, dude. I don't even. Yeah, that was a confusing movie.
Because it's not that I've been disappointed in lots of movies, but that movie, the expectations for me were so high because Olivia Wilde's directing and what's it called now? Damn it, I don't remember the name of the movie.
I know Booksmart.
That's a coming of age story too. Yeah,
I like Booksmart.
I thought that was excellent. And then like this movie, the trailers were literally amazing. They were so good. And then the end of that movie, I was like, "What? What are you talking about?" I was shocked. I was like, "This is where this is going." Even like the midway point, I'm like, "Where are they going with this?" I was confused with like, where are they going with this? And there's a weird like it felt like it seemed like a heavy-handed, somewhat political message in a weird way, if I remember correctly. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I don't understand what this is.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
I don't remember it all that well. I do remember the ending being so jarring. And I feel like the ending was not the original plan. And then they did like some random shift to what the ending ended up being. And it just felt so out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a disappointing ass movie.
It didn't work out. I don't know, but it's so unfortunate because I feel like if you rewrote the ending a little bit to massage it, it could have been better. Yeah. Even the twist that they had a couple twists, and I was like, they just didn't play the way you thought they were going to play. I don't know. It's too bad because I thought the acting was good. I thought Chris, man, I'm doing bad with names. Chris Pine. I thought Chris Pine was pretty great.
Yeah.
Florence Pugh was great. Florence Pugh was amazing.
She is awesome. I really like her. I think she's phenomenal in pretty much anything she's in. Yeah. But I remember like Harry Styles was in this and his accent changed multiple times. Like, do you remember? I feel like we talked about that. Like his accent randomly changed. And I was like, wait, what?
Right. Yeah. He was like having trouble with that. I was like,
it's too bad.
Well, why would you not notice that in post? Like you kind of have to just like, or even not hopefully before post so you can get it right in the shooting process. It sucks. All right. Anyway, what were we talking about? The Old Guard 2? How did we get here?
I don't remember.
The Old Guard 2.
I don't remember.
Anyway, that's it. Yeah, the Old Guard 2. It could be good. We'll see.
Yeah.
Next up.
Cool. My final thing that I'm going to talk about, and maybe one other thing if you don't bring it up, is Bachelor in Paradise, baby. They're back July 7th, week to week. Bachelor in Paradise. This is exciting because I pretty much know the entire cast. I've watched these seasons of Bachelor and Bachelorette. In regards to the dating shows in reality TV, I like the Bachelor series probably the most. I don't really care for Love is Blind that much. Ultimatum is a mess. Maybe like Ultimatum Queer Love was really good the first season, but this second season I'm not vibing with it. Maybe it'll get better. But yeah, I'm excited. Bachelor in Paradise, man. July 7th, week to week.
Cool.
I know you're stoked for it.
Yeah. Alrighty. I got a few more, so we can just keep going. I've got here written here. I'll leave the next one for you because I think you might say it. But I got Foundation season 3 premiere.
Oh, okay.
Which is a pretty big budget show from Apple. I'm pretty sure, like a science fiction series based on like Isaac Asimov's novel or novels. Is it a novel? I
have no idea.
Anyway, Isaac Asimov's stories.
Yeah.
And so Foundation season 3. It continues, which is good. I'm glad it's still going. I think people like it. I know it's kind of hit and miss at the beginning, but I think people really grew to like it as it went on. I looked at this like top. There's like this person wrote this list. I'm not even gonna give them credit because it's a stupid list. I don't want people to click it. But there was like a list of like, these are the best shows you should watch on Apple TV, and it's just like lists like 20 shows. I'm like, Jesus Christ! I thought you were gonna give like 5 or 10. You're giving it 20. It was like some obnoxious like list. It was almost every show, and I'm just like, that's so strange. And it was like ordered, I think, in order of the best shows, and it's like that is like number 1, number 2. And I'm like, this is a weird, like very, very, very subjective list. And one of the shows that was not in there was For All Mankind, but Foundation was in there like high up. And I was like, okay. Like, first of all, For All Mankind is almost 100% of Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it's a crazy, in terms of reviews. So I'm like, this is like a website with like, it's 95% For All Mankind. Foundation's like kind of more hit and miss. I was like, this is the best. This is your best list. This is just your opinion. Like, you're not rating this based on anything. Anyway, I thought that was ridiculous. But cool. Foundation season 3. What's your next one?
Nice. I don't know if I know what you thought I was going to say, because I can't think of anything else except for this movie called Brick, which is a Netflix German movie coming out, and it's about people that wake up in their apartment and there's this weird wall they can't leave. It's like bricks put around their house, their apartments, and then they're like, "What? We can't leave. How are we going to get out of here?" And then they break into other people's houses, and like everyone's dealing with the same situation. But it has the guy. What's his name?
Zombie Army.
Yeah, that guy. He's in it, but he speaks German.
Matthias Schweighöfer. I don't know. I butchered the shit out of his name. Matthias Schweighöfer.
Mm-hmm.
Schweighöfer, probably.
Hofer.
Yeah. That's him, right? That's the guy? Yeah,
it is.
And he's in it. He was in a spin-off heist thing. You remember that?
Yeah. Which was like the prequel, which was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't watch that.
Anyway.
Cool. What do you think I was going to say, out of curiosity?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia season 17 premiere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I forgot about that.
That's a big one for people. It's coming out July 9th. I don't know if I said The Old Guard's coming out July 2nd, but anyway, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is July 9th. That's crazy. 17 seasons. Good for them. Good for them. Impressive. And I got another one too. You got this one?
No.
You got another one?
I'm done.
That's it?
Yeah.
Dexter Resurrection season 1 premiere.
Oh, dude, that's coming out now? That's crazy.
July 11th. Same day as Superman.
Cool. I could not finish the prequel show. Wasn't vibing with it.
But you watched the other one, New Blood.
Yeah,
this is a sequel to New Blood.
Yeah. So maybe I'll watch this. I don't know. We'll see. It's on Paramount.
We're vibing with it. It's too bad because like the thing about the prequel one that I really like about it is I really like Christian Slater.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why. He's just good. I think he's really good in Mr. Robot. Like really good. He's like very compelling to watch.
So. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was just a place and time. The casting in that show is not the issue. I just think it's kind of annoying. because they focus a lot on Deb, which is like Dexter's sister in the prequel, and she's just this bratty, annoying teenage kid, like genuinely intolerable to watch. And it's like they put such a focus on her and her like what she's doing when she's not around. It's like, I do not give a fuck about this, dude. It is boring, it's annoying, and I'm not having a good time.
Maybe they're going somewhere with it.
I don't give a shit. I don't care. Okay. I know where they go with her character because I watched all of Dexter. Like, I don't need this filled in. I don't need to see her bad relationship with Harry and how she's like rebelling and eventually I guess becomes like a cop. Like, I don't give a shit about that. It's not good. And you wrote a bad character. She's intolerable. Intolerable.
All right. That's cool. That's cool.
So
that's
yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. That's all I had for picks. I always pick 6 because I think that there's going to be overlap, but we didn't have that much overlap. I guess it was just Jurassic World and Superman.
Yeah. I had the Old Guard on my list as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I picked 6 too, Simon. I picked 6.
Good for you. Well. Good
for me. Cool, man.
All right. Well, that's it, I guess. I have no idea what we're going to call this episode, but
dude, I know exactly what we're going to call it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it though.
Okay, we'll see. I'll
tell you after.
All right, well, that's it. Do you have anything else to say to the audience before we wrap this baby up?
Nah, I'm done. I'm done talking.
You're doing that again, eh?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that again. I already did that bit once. No, I'm getting
the thing is that no one listens to this podcast, so like, you could do it again. I could have just pretended.
Well, like, happened. I mean, I'm not performing. I'm just chatting with you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm doing this to chat with you, to chat with my friend. Simon,
right.
Simon Eady.
That's my point. So you could just do it again if you want, if that's what you feel like is necessary.
No.
But I do remember that you did it before. So
it was like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago.
It was more than that. It was like 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks ago. All right.
8 weeks. Wow.
Adrian, I thank the audience for listening to episode 113 of Split Focus, a film and TV podcast. My name is Simon Eady, and it has been a pleasure to host you alongside my fantastic co-host, Adrian Pinter. Please join us on July 15th, 2025 for episode 114. Good evening to you and good luck.
Take care. Goodbye.
Goodbye.